I've already started.
Oh. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 76 of the NFL Edition. I am one of your hosts, Alex Loosemore. As you can see on the screen there, happy Thanksgiving to all our American friends, family, viewers. I hope you guys have all had a great day being with family, eating some great food, watching some very good football. The two games earlier were very good. Jason and Hammy are already at it. Jason was in there early saying happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you for tuning in. And Hammy Jammy, thank you for tuning in. Jason, I'm very thankful for Big Hot NFL Edition host and most importantly, Alex Drumstick. We'll get his opinions on that in a few seconds here. So we've got the last game for today going on. It's currently tied at 10 with 8:29 left in the second. Obviously, the two games earlier today, the Bills beat the Lions 28-25 in a very good game to start the day. And the Cowboys beat the Giants, I believe it was 28-20, in another very good back and forth physical game. I'll give you my opinions on this in a second. I'll get Alec in here first. But yeah, I'm not upset with the game today. I'm really not. I'll just leave it there for a second. And I'm going to bring in one of the co-hosts, Mr. Alec Schomber. How we doing, Alec?
Doing good, Alex. How are you doing?
Good. How's your day been so far with football and everything going on?
Oh, ask Sid and Ash how I'm doing. Ask them how I'm doing.
Yeah. Gambling-wise, screw Tony.
Overall, I wish the Lions would have won that game, but I guess 25 seconds is important. So probably too much time for Josh Allen. So
they've shown in a few games over the last couple of years that they can score like that at the end of a game. So amazing play by Josh Allen to Stephon Diggs there with that throw. Not many duos could have made the play those two did, and I thought that was a very, very fun game. From the little bit I got to see because I was at work. Whoever this is, thank you for tuning in, said the Bozo.
I don't know who that is.
I have no idea. So as this has become like a weekly tradition, if you go into the caption on the show on Facebook, there's a link you can click. That will let us see your name, unless you want to hide behind the Facebook user thing here. Then that's totally fine. So Jason says those Lions need to take off the red and Jared and the G and Goff. He's not a great QB, Alex. The Bozo package. So this is somebody in the betting group chat.
Bro, who is it? I really want to fucking know. Reveal yourself.
And Jason, no, he's not a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback.
It has to be Andrew.
It's probably Andrew. That's what I'm thinking.
It has to be Andrew. But I don't know what page this is shared on, so.
He's probably getting it off the NFL Plus page. I don't think
we have anybody that knows that.
I shared it to him from there, so that if it's him, it would be on there. Anyways, Jared Goff. Oh, he says not Andrew.
Okay, so it has to be. Fuck, who is it?
But they're at Thanksgiving right now. I don't know.
Oh, because it's not. I don't think it's David. I doubt it's David.
Bucs Skull Gang, thank you for tuning in. Hope you guys are all having a great Thanksgiving. Jared Goff. Yes, he made a couple mistakes in that game against Buffalo today, but he was solid for the majority of that game. I have no issues with Goff or the defense. Like, Buffalo's still one of the very best teams in the league, and it took everything they had to beat us today.
Oh, I know who it is.
Who is
Fucking
it?
Shelly. Fuck that dude.
Don't
worry, the Bozo Packers on fucking Sunday's gonna fucking lose too. Don't worry. They always fucking lose.
Jason said, "Oh, Alex, so sorry for leaving that white stuff on your sweatshirt."
The fucking Nike check mark, you dick.
Bucs Skull Gang says Bucs got big loss for Sunday. No Vita Vea. We'll get into our picks on that later.
Questionable.
And Bucs Skull Gang says Lions could win today. And here's the other thing: we had no Jeff Okudah, who's been locking down wide receiver ones all season. Justin Jefferson's worst game was against Jeff Okudah. I'd just like to point that out. We had no Jonah Jackson, so neither of our starting guards were in the game. The offensive line as a whole did not play very well today. But I think they, like this comment says, they could have won, but again, hell of a play by Josh Allen. I had no complaints because you can ask these guys. I went into this game thinking we were going to get slaughtered earlier this week. So, yeah, I got no problems. We shouldn't have been in a game with them like that, and we were. So, Corey says Bucs can still win over the Browns without Vita Vea. It makes it a lot more difficult with that running offense that they have. To have Vita Vea in the middle, that big run stopping.
Chubb is a tough one to stop.
Yeah, he's very difficult to stop. Jason, we're the two old guys, Johnny and Ben. So Ben is currently having his Thanksgiving dinner with his family. He may or may not hop on later. We'll see. And Johnny will be on shortly. He's just sharing and doing all his shit in the background there. Hammy said, "Where's Ben?" Dang it. Sorry. He needs his Benny. Sorry. Hopefully you get to see him in a bit, but who knows? Corey says turf injury, Von Miller. Yeah, they carted him off with a lower leg injury. Did not look good. He was limping pretty good coming out of the blue tent there. So, yeah, I hope he's okay. But selfishly, as a Lions fan, I was like, okay, like this is all right. It helps us out a little bit, but I never like to see anyone get hurt. So, Bucs Skull Gang Lions would have made early field goal in the game. Could still make playoffs. Yeah, we've got Jaguars at home next week. Then the Vikings at home. Then we go to the Jets, to the Panthers, home against the Bears, and at Lambeau. I see 4 or 5 wins there without things going either way. So at that point, 8-9, 9-8, somewhere in there, which I'd like to point out is exactly what I predicted for the season. So it's looking good on my end. What's that?
I was like, is there proof of that?
Yeah, go back and watch Eddie's show from right before the season.
That's a lot of fucking videos.
Yep, exactly.
I'm not gonna scroll through that. Shell's ask Hammy and
or if you go somewhere on Let's Talk Football, me and Sean did a Lions preview show. So that would probably be easier to find because it was a shorter one. But Yake and Ben, Israel, thank you for tuning in. Can't wait for overrated Michigan to lose on Saturday, not tomorrow. Wow. Ohio State is about to beat their brakes. No. I don't think so. I could see Ohio State winning, and I've said from the start that I think they will win because it's in Columbus, but I think it's a very close game. It's going to come down to the health of Blake Corum and Jackson Smith and Jigba for Ohio State, because those two playmakers could shift this game either way. If Corum's able to play, and Donovan Edwards for that matter as well, then our running game, I think, matches up very well against that defense.
Dang it,
and if J.J. McCarthy can pull his head out of his ass and throw the ball down the field, then that Buckeyes pass defense can be taken advantage of. And then on the other side, our DBs haven't really been tested this year. So Marvin Harrison Jr., if Jackson Smith and Jigba's healthy and is on the other side, I don't like that. That makes me very nervous. But if JSN isn't healthy and isn't playing, then I don't want to say I like our chances to stop Marvin Harrison Jr. because I don't think you can stop him. But I like our chances to limit him enough. And also, let's see how the Ohio State running backs are doing because their two top running backs are hurt as well.
You know, it's weird. Vegas knows something. Michigan was plus 15.5. Now it's plus 7.
Where did you see 15.5? I didn't see that at all.
It was like on when they opened it up on Monday.
Oh, because the biggest I saw was 8.
I might say like 15.
Wow. Okay.
I was gonna touch that, but I was like, I'll wait a little bit. It'll probably say the same. Nope. Plus 7.5.
Damn.
So they must know something. They got something.
Bucs Skull Gang says OBJ should be signing soon with the Cowboys or Giants. Yeah, he has visits lined up with them for this weekend. It's not clear if any other visits are going to happen. Those are the only 2 listed as of now.
It was OBJ Bowl.
And if you listen to the game, what a throw by Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson there. Wow. Okay. I saw the ball float in the air, so I just turned and looked, and yeah, that was a damn good play. During the Cowboys game, when CeeDee Lamb kept making all those one-handed catches, all they were saying was, "Oh, check Odell's socials. Oh, he's trying to get Odell. Oh, like Odell should be watching this." I was just like, okay, let's calm down. I do think he's probably going to end up with the Cowboys, but who really knows? And as Bucs Skull Gang says, the OBJ saga continues. I think the Giants is actually the worst place for him out of all the teams they've listed that he's interested in because they're such a run-heavy offense. Now, that might just be because they've got nobody to throw to, but I don't think the Giants are a great fit for OBJ. I think Dallas or Kansas City is probably the best fit. Buffalo, Tampa, all those other teams would be fun, but I think Dallas or Kansas City is the best bet for him, stats-wise. Corey says, Tom Brady fan woman age 29 interested in dating Tom Brady rumor. I have no idea about that, but yeah, interesting. Do you know anything about this, Alec?
Tom Brady fan woman age 27. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure if it's true, but I saw it.
Okay. Anthony, thank you for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everybody else again as well. Says he'll be back next week. And Hammy, you got your wish because in here for at least a little bit is Mr. Ben Cornett. How we doing, Ben? Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you. How you doing, Alex?
Good. I'm happy with the games that have gone on today, even though I took the chances on both of them and got them both wrong so far. But 3 very good games so far.
The Lions, they had their chances, dude. They really did. And for a moment there, I thought maybe they would pull it out. But, that's just experience. Again, you're going up against a team that's been there, done that. Detroit's just starting to find out, how this goes, So, listen, I mean, you played, who's it, Jacksonville next week?
Yeah, at home.
You'll probably win that game. I mean,
I think so too.
Yeah, so you guys you're still doing good. I mean, you stayed in it, like you said. I just saw what you said earlier. You stayed with the Bills. You gave them every shot you could. So you should be proud of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and like I said as well, it took a great play by Allen to Diggs for Buffalo to win that game. And that's all it was. It was I don't think we should have been playing press coverage at that point. I think we should have dropped back and played a bit more zone, but there was still 2-3 guys right there, and Diggs made a hell of a play. Like,
I mean, come on. I mean, a great throw by Allen.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. No, I was not mad about that game at all.
Yeah. Giants, maybe they're coming back down to earth a little bit. Maybe they're not as good as thought, Teams are finally, they're not built to come back. So you don't have a quarterback that can, lead you 60 minutes in a game. So,
well, and not to mention both their starting corners from the last few weeks were both out.
Yeah,
So
offensive line.
yep.
yeah.
That too. So
That's your actual strength of the Lions is that offensive line.
Oh no, we were on the Giants at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Let's get back to the Lions.
Okay. What were your thoughts, Johnny?
I don't know. I was happy and disappointed at the same time because I picked the Bills, and I like the Bills the way I like the Lions too. I don't like watching them play each other. I'm conflicted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think any fucking team needs to win a Super Bowl. It's the Bills.
Yeah. You can definitely make that argument for sure. Jason says his oldies are here. You guys were both asked for by these two quite a bit.
how cute.
What's up, Jason? Yakin? Oh,
I saw the comment from Yakin about Michigan.
Corey.
Oh yeah.
Buck Skull Gang in the house. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, we got quite a few people.
What's the score right now, Alex?
It's about to be 14-13.
It's about to be 14-13.
1 yard line.
Oh.
It's about to be. They're the 1 yard line.
Oh, I forgot what person.
It's like they're
I was like, I'm in the middle of the commercial right now, so I.
Oh, okay. Because I got the green screen over. I still got some family over. They're in the living room, so
yeah,
I got the green screen. I'm probably going to use this anyway eventually, but that's just.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So we're going into the. Oh, Johnny, do you have anything on the Lions game you want to add, or are we moving on to?
Did you talk about that last play? I know you were not happy with the press. I didn't mind the press, especially when you had three guys on what's the name at the end there. I mean, that was just an amazing catch, dude. He shouldn't have caught that ball. That was like one in a million fucking catches right there, man.
But I guess
I heard
my only other.
Go ahead.
My only other real complaint, like play calling wise, is I don't understand why they do this, because you have the leading touchdown getter in Jamal Williams, and it's just time after time you get behind that offensive line and you just bully your way in, and you get to that point and you spread everyone out and you go empty, and I absolutely hate it.
And also, real quick, you guys wasted a lot of time on that final offensive drive where you ended up kicking a.
They were using up the clock.
Yeah, trying to send it to overtime.
That's on coaching. I mean, he's got those timeouts.
Well, what would you have done differently? Left more time on the clock for them?
No, but what you could do is, you can come up with some better play calling. It just seemed like they were.
Well, the play calling was working. Why do you change something if it's not broke?
Johnny, you can't. When you have three timeouts, you have the clock going against you.
Also have fucking the Bills on the other side of the table who have already
not thinking about that.
shown that they can. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You have to play against the team you're playing against.
Now,
you know their tendencies.
Here's where I get Ben's point is.
I thought the Bills managed the clock a lot worse than the Lions did.
Now, here's Ben's thing is because, and this is me and Johnny were on the same page, and Alec had the same point as Ben earlier, and we're thinking about it two different ways. Is we're thinking of it as the Lions were just going to kick that field goal to get it to overtime, where you guys are talking about going for that shot to go win the game. And if you go score that touchdown, then it changes how the Bills play that last drive, because you're not just going to kick a field goal to win the game. You have to go score that touchdown. Right? So where if you use those timeouts, you go score that touchdown, then it totally changes how the Bills strategize that last drive, which I get where you're coming from, Ben, with that.
And that's the thing. It seemed like they were playing for the field goal rather than,
They absolutely were, yeah.
I didn't like that.
Because the percentages of actually punching it in are lower than getting the field goal. That you play
touchdown, TJ
as a head coach, you're not a fan. You're sitting there and your job's on the line. So as a head coach, you take the higher percentage play.
Yeah, but I mean, again, with three timeouts, you could have used at least a couple of them, try to set up some.
There would have been
kind of
more time on the
like,
clock for him to score too, though.
Well,
No, but
you have to take
at
that
the same
risk.
time,
yeah, defense has to stop him. That's the thing. And like you said, Johnny, it was just a great catch by Diggs. 9 out of 10 times, nobody else.
Yeah, that was that catch was amazing.
So who knows what would have happened if he didn't make that catch? Detroit might have went to overtime. So
yeah, I think we would have. Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, as soon as that catch happened, I was just like, yeah, okay, like the game's over. And then he just barely made that field goal, and I was just like,
five more yards. 5 more yards. He probably would have missed it because it was sailing to the left. So.
Yep.
Oh, that first missed fucking field goal.
It almost went right over the top of the upright.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
Oh, wait, that was an extra point, wasn't it? That first one was a missed extra point somewhere, or was it a missed field goal? No,
Buffalo missed an extra point. The Lions missed a field goal. And it happened right as fucking Jim Nance is like, Badgley hasn't missed a kick all season, and I don't care about these curses. And
yeah, what do you know?
I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? Like,
I thought I heard Jim Nance say something about the Lions were going to win this one.
It's fucking Jim Nance.
Corey, I just want to talk about this one for a second. The Lions had no defense going into this year, so I don't think anyone should be surprised by this. Even though the Lions defense has been playing better the last couple of weeks, it's still not good.
It's good enough to fucking get quite a few 3-and-outs in that game.
Yeah, but at the same time, when they're going to go Allen to Diggs and you don't have someone like Okudah there that can shadow Diggs, then I don't know what anyone really expected.
I don't expect to put money on the Bills next week because Josh Allen didn't come out of that looking healthy.
On their Thursday night against the Patriots next week. So
yeah, that's gonna
that's another
tough game. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see the Patriots winning that game. I do. I could see it.
Depends on where it's being played for me. If it's in Buffalo or in New England.
Not for me. The Patriots defense has been consistent all along, and now their offense is starting to do a little bit with the running game and shit there.
It is, yeah. It's 16-13 Minnesota currently.
I'd put the Patriots defense right there with San Francisco, man.
I don't know that I'd put it right there.
It's pretty good. I mean, Judon's the leading sack guy in the NFL. So he has like 13 sacks. Or does he have a sack tonight?
Judon.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'll take a look.
I haven't watched, so I don't like.
Yeah, I was screaming at the TV when I found out that fucking Matthew Judon went from the Ravens to the Patriots. I said, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You don't have an edge rusher there right now."
Yeah. Defense. They don't currently have a sack, so. Judon obviously does not have one.
I almost took the Vikings in this game because of the blowout last week, and usually the rebound games are like Dallas didn't score shit today, right? They did, but
yeah. Well, and that was exactly my thought, was the Vikings being embarrassed by that game. I thought they'd come out with their hair on fire.
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Looking at somebody's only.
I was kind of looking at this as a letdown game for them myself. Exactly what you just said, actually.
Yeah. Bucs Skull Gang says, will the Vikings win today? Half game out of the number 1 seed. Yeah, and the only difference is the Eagles beat them.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I can see the Vikings win today. Patriots is going to them.
I picked them to win today. So, although the way my other picks have gone, New England's probably going to win.
I think you should have waited a week or two before you take that risk and go.
Well, see, I figured I'd start taking the shots now because then I've got more chances.
Yeah, but if you lose,
Anthony, you had to bring that shit up, man.
Yeah,
you have to lose if you've lost 2 already. I think, right?
Yeah. So. Now me and Johnny had 6 different this week, so and 3 of them were today. Spoiler.
And I was telling him just a while ago, I was like, you could actually have caught up and passed Alec, especially after Alec's week last week.
Well, Well,
Yeah,
it's funny because on the picks like website that we have, I picked Buffalo and Dallas like 3 weeks ago when I made the picks.
That was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson.
I think you should do that. Maybe I'll do that the rest of the. No, I'm not. I've still got Slick to worry about.
I was wondering when Anthony was going to bring this up because.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was coming, but.
Oh God.
Anthony, of all people, bringing it up. He's the one that was like, "Oh, don't talk about him no more."
Oh, what do you? He's the one that's been messaging for the last week about Deshaun Watson quite a bit.
Oh,
what's going on here? He's excited about this.
He just likes to talk about those fucking Cleveland Steamers, I think, man.
Yeah.
It looks like New England's going to get at least a field goal before halftime here. No, so Watson's not playing against the Bucs on Sunday. Technically, he's reinstated next week, but the Browns are on the bye week.
Bill Belichick's going to kick his ass for that right there.
No, they already had their bye week, but they play the Texans next week, correct? And that's when he's back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God, of course. I still can't. Well, I can believe they did it that way because it's the NFL, but it just blows my mind. Yeah, he's still suspended. This is the last week of his suspension. Now he's practicing and everything, obviously, with the team. He's been doing that for a couple weeks now. But yeah, next week will be the first game he can actually play.
What are we expecting from that game?
I mean, it's the Texans, so I expect him to be good, not like he used to be, because I think it'll take a while to get back to that, seeing as it'll be over 2 years since he last played.
Football shape's a bitch.
Yeah, it really is. But it's nice to come in against a team with that talent level. I will say that.
He doesn't have to play a full season, so that helps him out a lot.
Yep.
He can come in there nice and fresh. I don't know what to expect from him because
look what D-Hop did.
If we were talking about Gronk being out and having a full off season there to get ready, then I would expect Gronk to come in and get like gangbusters at the end of the season. You know what I mean? I don't know what to expect from Watson, man. I really don't.
Yeah, well, and it's like I was just saying, look at what D-Hop did when he came back in at 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
Since he's been back, he's leading the league in targets and receptions.
He's the only target.
Yeah. Well, that was when they were talking on Monday night about how can the Cardinals beat the 49ers. It was just D-Hop, 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 D-Hop. That's how you even have a shot to beat them.
Right.
And you saw it
do
early
we think that there's any difference between Kyler Murray and Colt McCoy? I mean, Colt McCoy, what he lacks in physical ability, he makes up for in intelligence and experience. I think that Cardinals fucked up paying Kyler Murray that money. He doesn't act like a person who wants to play.
Right.
I mean, if you watched Hard Knocks that first week, we heard him talk about his hammy that whole friggin' game,
Yeah. And then he didn't play on Monday.
It's one of those things where he was the number one pick. And if they didn't give him that contract, it's almost like you're saying, well, he was a bust. You know what I'm saying? Let's get him secured now. And
yeah, you're securing though, and you're anchoring him to especially with that guaranteed money they gave him, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, I didn't get it, but I think that's what they're thinking is.
Yeah.
He has his moments. I mean, that's when he has his special moments. It's like, oh my God, that's amazing, blah, 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 blah. But then he has so many of the brain farts, man. He has, he's like, what was the name?
Mark Sanchez.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of Mark Sanchez a lot, man.
Oh, with the moment thing, yeah, absolutely. I totally get what you mean, because there's a reason that Kyler Murray was, in most people's eyes, the front runner for MVP for the first half of the season last year.
Right.
The guy can ball out. He's a phenomenal player when he turns it on. But it seems like there's that switch that gets flipped quite
That
often.
switch usually gets hit when they're playing competition at the end of the season, closer to the end of the season when everybody's really playing.
Yeah.
That's when he's like, he doesn't have that extra gear, it's like.
Yeah. It says the Browns still in the hunt. I think it's too little too late. Just with how the AFC itself is looking. If they were in the NFC, yeah, they're still absolutely in the hunt for the playoffs because it seems like everyone is still. But yeah, the AFC, I think it's a little too late for this year. And they don't have their first or their second.
What's their schedule look like? I haven't seen their schedule. They could still do it, but they'd have to sweep everybody they play.
Yeah, they would have to pretty much run the table starting with you guys this weekend.
And that ain't happening.
Yeah.
And then the Texans, which I think, I think that's a win there. And then they're at Cincinnati, home versus the Ravens, home versus the Saints, at the Commanders, and at the Steelers to end the season.
Well, they've
pretty tough.
Kyler, Zach saw Kyler and said, "You think that's immature, motherfucker? Hold my beer."
I still can't believe he had the balls to say that in the press conference on Sunday.
He is looking so Johnny Manziel to me right now. It's pathetic. I mean,
honestly, yeah.
I feel like I'm insulting Johnny Manziel saying that.
Well, and it's like you go, like, his numbers from the weekend were 9 of 22.
27.
9 completions on 22 throws for 77 yards.
Oh, he got 77. I thought it was 27.
Yeah.
I know at one point he had a total of fucking 76 inches or something like that. At one point in the game. I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Well, and you only score 3 points, and your defense plays that well.
And they're putting Mike White in his place.
I still think they should have put Flacco, but when they ask you after scoring 3 points if you feel like you let down your defense and you have the balls to say no, I'm sorry. To me, that's bench right there, and I'm glad they did it.
Yeah.
Because he needs to grow up.
Big time.
Well, the MILFs are going to be disappointed.
No, because now he's going to have more time.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, true.
I think for this, I think they're going to boom like crazy.
Oh, not only that, but they're going to have women's groups outside the stadium. They're going to have a lot of people protesting.
I wonder how many like Bill Cosby signs and everything are going to be at I can't wait to see the signs and how many of them make it.
I think it's going to be mixed emotions there with the fan base because there's people that are just going to ignore everything about him and just he's our quarterback now. So yeah.
See, but even if you don't think about the horrible things he's supposedly done.
How do you do that? Get a lobotomy?
I mean, even if you're just thinking about Deshaun Watson, the football player, he still made it very clear before all that came out that he did not want to play for you guys anymore. He forced his way out. So if I'm a fan, I'm like, well, screw this guy. He said he didn't want to be with us anymore. Fuck him. Like,
right. I wasn't talking about the Texans fans though. I was talking about the Browns fans.
Oh, I was talking. Yeah, Texans fans. I think it will be so. There's so many boos.
Don't he know better than to do that, man?
Bedroom ostrich. That's a new one.
Bedroom ostrich.
Nice. That's you apparently.
Yeah, apparently I guess I'm an ostrich.
You know, anytime you go off camera, man, he's going to get you.
Yeah.
Literally.
All right. Before we do our picks, I want to hop into a different topic here that we'll scroll across the bottom.
Ooh.
The Hall of Fame semifinalists were announced. So we got Rondé Barber, London Fletcher. I was like, I already put it on there. Ricky Waters, Hines Ward, Fred Taylor, Anquan Bolden, Henry Ellard, Albert Lewis, Eric Allen, Rodney Harrison, Robert Mathis, Jari Evans, Vince Wilfork. I'm just going to put the edit. Oh, no, I can't because it's scrolling. Willie Anderson, Darren Woodson, Reggie Wayne, Zach Thomas, Jared Allen, Andre Johnson. I wish
you're gonna be here reading for a while.
Torrey Holt, Dwight Freeney, DeMarcus Ware. I think we're getting near the end. James Harrison, Steve Smith, Patrick Willis, Darrell Revis, Joe Thomas, and Devin Hester. Oh, that's a loaded group of semifinalists.
Yes, it is.
Like, that is ridiculous. And for them to cut the semifinalists, do they cut the finalists down to half and then they make their actual Hall of Fame class?
I think
from that. Is that how it goes?
Then they go to the finalists.
I think so. Yeah, they'll cut it to what, like 12 or something, 10 or 12. Then they pick like what 5
8 or so out of the
8, like something like that. It's an interesting question. I mean,
how the hell are you going to cut this group down? Like,
well, this is 23, so
yeah,
a lot of them have already been cut down in people's minds anyway. So,
yeah. I mean, we were having some discussions earlier about certain players like Devin Hester, for example.
I want to say my little thing about that till the end of the show or close to the end of the show. But you go ahead.
Like, for me, I don't think London Fletcher will go. Ricky Waters, no. Fred Taylor, no. I don't know enough about Henry Ellard or Albert Lewis to go one way or the other.
I think Fred Taylor has a better chance of getting in than Ricky Waters. Because Ricky Waters, his era, okay, and this is how, as I was talking to a voter today, explained it to me. They go in and they're competing not with the people in the semifinalists. They're competing with the people in their era. So Ricky Waters is going in against Emmitt Smith and those guys. Barry Sanders and shit. So not looking good for Ricky.
Yeah.
So I think that would lean it toward Fred Taylor, who still had competition, but it wasn't like them.
And this transitions right to this comment. Bucs Skull Gang, Rondé Barber. I don't think this year either.
Rondé's okay. Ben, after our long debate, I had a debate today with a Hall of Fame voter, and he explained to me what I just said. And Rondé's era competition is Darrell Green and Dion. And that kind of pushes him down farther. That's why he hasn't gotten in so far to this point yet, because of the people playing in his era.
Well, and then you get to the end, like the latter portion of his career, and at that point, it's Champ Bailey, Charles Woodson.
Yes,
like a lot of those guys too. Where it sucks for Rondé because most of those guys are already in.
Yeah, and you see the people who are in here right now. There's a few of these Eric Allen, Rodney Harrison, and that would be kind of like the Rondé Barber is a Swiss Army knife of backs, defensive backs. All right, and he played at a great level. And the guy told me today that if it was just going up against Darrell Revis, he would get in.
Yeah,
but he's not. He's going up against all his era.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose which ones of this era are comparable to him getting in.
Well, I mean, if you look at, for example, just because I see his name on the semifinalist list here, someone like Anquan Bolden. Not only are you competing against the guys here, so Hines Ward, who else? Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne, all these guys, Steve Smith. But you're competing against the other guys from your era that are already in. Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, like all those guys too. Yeah. Terrell Owens.
And Anquan played at Steve Smith's prime.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a guy that like I would love to see get in. But I like there's no way he's getting in this year. But you start to question if he'll get in at all. Just because of all the guys he's competing with. And
I think for Rondé is they're starting to run out of people in his era.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in the next couple of years anyway.
Real quick, I mean, Ronde kind of played in the same era as Rivas the last few years of Ronde's career.
Cornerback versus safety. I mean,
at that point,
that's where they're looking at it. If it was straight up, Ronde's talent skill set is far more out there than Rivas's was, because Rivas could be taken out of a game. All you had to do was run crossing routes with your stars.
Yeah, but wouldn't that also tell you he again covered one side of the field?
One side of the field, but that's it could be game planned for. It could be game planned for. People like Deion Sanders and Darrell Green, you could not game plan because they would follow them across the field. They could play in the center and they could play in those other positions where Darrell Rivas would get lost in the crowd. Picks,
but then
he was no good with picks. A pick can come across and Darrell Rivas would be gone. We saw these things happening with the Bucs when he played with the Bucs.
Yeah, but
he didn't lose his skill set. He didn't lose his skill set with the Bucs because when he went back to the Jets, he was still. They played him in that position the way they used to, and he was still Darrell Rivas. He's not a bad. I'm not knocking Darrell Rivas. Darrell Rivas is great at what he did. He just didn't do enough to compete with Ronde on that level because Ronde played every spot he played at the top level.
At the same time, I don't think while it's corner versus corner. For the majority of Ronde's career, it's not a good comparison because of the type of player they were.
Right.
For me, Darrell Rivas has to be...
Remember, I told you this earlier. The original intent for the Football Hall of Fame was for be the best football players, all around football players.
And that's what Rivas is. He's a great
He's a specialist.
Player. But he's a great
wait a minute. Now that they've changed the criteria, it is more specialized. They do break it down more specialist. So that's where you get your Rivases and stuff. But before that, they had to play all.
Now, even if this was a Football Hall of Fame, Rivas walks in.
Even the early 80s, they voted the best players in.
Rivas still walks in the Hall of Fame no matter what. Dude.
Yeah, even if you take the specialist part off it, Rivas walks in.
Yeah.
Rivas
because there was nobody who was doing what he was doing at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was my whole point was when we were arguing the other day, Ronde versus Rivas and all that, is Ronde's got to be compared against the Darrell Greens, the Deions, those kind of guys, while Rivas, you got to compare against a lot of these guys are still playing the Richard Shermans, or still aren't eligible. Sorry, the Richard Shermans and those kind of types where you sucked them on one side of the field and you didn't worry about that. And where we talked about the crossing routes and all that, then you make the argument that you strictly had to game plan against Rivas.
Well, for a very short period of time, how long was Sherman at the top of his game? Like 5 years, tops.
Yeah.
Well, 2010, 2011 to 2017.
But see, then he adapted and became a professor of the sport, professor of his position, because he used his. Darrell Rivas never grew to that point where he figured angles out like Sherman did. You know what I'm saying? His career would have lasted a lot longer if he could have overcome the lack of his speed when he started slowing down.
Yeah. Oh, you're absolutely right. Andrew says, fuck Steve Smith. Ronde better get in before that overrated clown. I think he will, just because, like I said, the backlog of receivers. Like, to me, Reggie Wayne and Andre Johnson should both get in before Steve Smith. At the very least, Torrey Holt, I think, as well.
Yeah,
I'm not knocking Steve Smith just because he played against us, man. Because when Steve Smith went to the Ravens, he was probably one of their top 5 all-time receivers.
Yep.
And now, that was at the end of his career. And that's only, 3 years, 4 years?
But in Baltimore, that's not saying much also.
That's true. But they had Anquan Bolden, too.
For 2 years. That's where I'm at.
Until John's brother fucking conned him out of him.
Yeah.
After getting his ass beat in the fucking Super Bowl.
Sorry, Bucs Skull Gang. I'd put money on him waiting another year. Unfortunately. Because I'd like to see Ronde get in. I think, realistically, he should have been in years ago. But
you preach it to the choir. How many rants have I had about Ronde, man?
You had a couple good ones last year when the Hall of Fame got announced. And this is an interesting one. Devin Hester. Should he get in? I think absolutely.
I do too.
I think he's going to be first balloter because he's going to be like that kicker that got in.
Well, he was he was available last year.
Well, that's right. He was, wasn't he?
Yeah. Because we were saying last year that we thought he should have got in. Because if you look at him for the type of player he was, he absolutely should have been in. But
not to change the subject, but did you just see the graphic they put up about TJ?
No. I'll go back and look.
Fuck you, Jason.
Did you just say that?
Yeah, good for Hawkinson.
Oh, I should have watched
what I said. Did you say, Alec? You said
I'm good.
F you, Jason. You know what
That's
you
all
just
it's comment.
when you're in my heat. Well, I mean, you're like looking down on me.
That's got to be a star. That's starred.
Okay, yeah. You know what, Alec? You haven't said anything in a while. Let's get your.
I was,
looking at the 8x10.
I'm waiting for this debate that y'all's going to have today. It got really heated in the messenger.
We're not having debates. We already have.
Well, see, we both saw other sides of the argument after the argument. So.
Darn, your fans was waiting for that one.
So what, you?
Oh, see, Johnny,
you were the one that was waiting for that.
See, Johnny had 9. You had like a 7, 7.5.
No, and like for me, I'll go for the point that Alec wants me to make. Like I'll vouch for Revis. The fact that you go look at his numbers against those elite receivers he played against, and they weren't doing the crossing routes to get away from him. The Calvin Johnsons, the Randy Mosses, the Terrell Owens, those kind of guys.
I don't understand.
They were just trying to beat him.
Do that with Calvin Johnson, but I think they relied on Calvin Johnson's size.
Yep, that's absolutely what. And he was fast too, so they were just hoping that he could get down the field and out jump him.
Just bully him, yeah.
Yeah. But
and Randy Moss too. It was another thing with size, with Randy Moss' speed and size. Yep. So they didn't think enough about it at that point.
Yep.
They just took their man and matched him up. But the smarter coaches out there, sorry, Belichick.
Well, and at that point, there wasn't much in the way of all these crossing routes and everything in those schemes. That's a newer concept to beat man as much as it, like as heavy as it is now. But you go look at his numbers against some first ballot Hall of Famers and some very elite players at that wide receiver position, and he locked them down in multiple games that he played against those guys. To me, right there, that's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And to me, it's one of those guys where you're making your finalists, and it's there's a couple of them for me. It's okay, Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, they're in. Let's pick the rest of the class. To me, those two are first ballot Hall of Famers, and there's no debate to it.
Yeah.
We have a list, but it's not it's a semifinalist list. It's right here.
I think he's saying now. And like what guy? Like I'm thinking he's saying make our Hall of Fame class.
Oh, I could do that to a point. There's no guarantees on any of it. We did it last year, and we got like 4 or 5 right out of 7.
If that, if that. I'll pick a class of 8 here. I'll go Joe Thomas, Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
Jared Allen. I'm going to go Torrey Holt. DeMarcus Ware. I'm going Devin Hester. So that's what, 5 or 6? Revis, Thomas, Holt, Hester, and Ware. Yeah, so that's 5. I would throw Rondé in. I know I've said he's probably not getting in, but I would throw him in. I would go Hines Ward for 7. And one more. I'm just looking at the list here. Vince Wilfork. That would be my 8th. So I went Revis, Joe Thomas. I went Hines Ward, Wilfork. Where I went with Hester. Who the hell are my other two? I just listed them off. Oh, Barber. Oh, and Jared Allen. That's right. So I had 2 edge rushers, a nose tackle, a return specialist, wide receiver, 2 DBs, and an offensive tackle.
Want me to go next?
Sure.
Okay. I got Revis. I got Devin Hester. I got Joe Thomas. I think those are the obvious.
Yeah.
I do got Rondé Barber. I'm not just being a homer. The guys.
I agreed too. So
Jared Allen. Vince Wilfork, I do have. I think he was great for those Patriot teams. Torrey Holt. And this was tough.
Pick.
It came down to like 3 guys on this last one. Is either going to be Freeney, Patrick Willis, or Zach Thomas, and I went with Freeney.
Good pick.
Yeah.
I think both Freeney and Willis, in my opinion, are probably next year. But I love that list.
Yeah, I think if this wasn't so loaded, I would have put Patrick on the top 8.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Johnny or Alec, do you guys have a Hall of Fame class that you would pick?
I'm getting there. Hold on.
All right, so I'll recap. Me and Ben have a lot similar. We both have Revis. We both have Joe Thomas. We both have Devin Hester. We both have Vince Wilfork. We both have Rondé Barber. We both have Jared Allen. The only differences are I went Ward and Ware, Hines Ward and DeMarcus Ware, and he went Torrey Holt and Dwight Freeney. So we both went an edge rusher and a wide receiver. We just picked different ones.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a hard time. Okay, who's on there now? I can't see.
I had a tough time with Holt, too, and Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Those were...
me too.
Andre was great, man, for the Texans back.
You know what? I'm sorry to do it. I'm pulling out Hines Ward and going Andre.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been questioning that since I made the list, and as soon as you said that, I'm like, yep, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. Because he played in that era of Moss and Calvin Johnson and all those guys, and he was right up there amongst the best.
Yeah.
Like
that's right. You talked about that earlier with the era they played in. So, yeah.
And he's one of those players. He was one of those like original star players for Houston, their first like star player, which I think that means something as well.
Yeah, that's true. Even before Watt, he was like the first.
Yeah, because he was drafted in 2003. He was their second first round pick ever.
Yep.
Okay, I got some that I don't think will make the list first. Well, not this year. Rodney Harrison might surprise you, but I don't think he's going to make the list because, like Charles Haley, he rubbed writers the wrong way. The voters do not like him. So I'm going to put Rondé in his spot because outside of just pissing everybody off, Rodney Harrison absolutely deserves to be in.
Yep.
I think Robert Mathis is going to suffer because of Dwight Freeney.
Yep.
So I'm not putting him right in.
Now, are you putting Freeney in?
I think Freeney's already in, isn't he?
Nope.
Well, then, yeah.
Freeney, on that.
Freeney will definitely go in before him because Freeney invented that fucking swim move, man, that every DE uses now.
Now, is Freeney going in this year?
Is he on the list?
Am I writing him down on your list? Yeah, because Ben picked him, right?
Did you? Yeah. I'll put Freeney in before.
Wait, Freeney?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I got him.
I'll put Freeney in before Mathis. I don't know if he's going to go in this year or not.
Okay. Because I was like, do I write him down on your list or not? Return touchdown for Minnesota?
I think
23-22 pending a point after.
Wow. Jari Evans is probably going to get in. It's hard to say with guards.
I almost put him in this year, but because Joe Thomas is getting in, typically they'll only do one O-lineman a year.
Right.
So I had Evans waiting till next year, but do you want me to put Evans on your list?
No, I'm just breaking them down right now. Rondé's the only one I have on my list right at the moment. Besides this next person, the defensive tackle from New England Patriots, Vince Wilfork. He's got.
Yeah,
he's got.
So we all have him, and I believe he's first ballot, or was he available last year?
I think he was available last year.
I think so. So
I don't know
23.
I don't know how many people remember Willie Anderson, but Willie Anderson was a beast.
He was amazing.
But there we go again with another offensive lineman.
And left tackle. You're comparing Anderson to Joe Thomas at that exact position.
Exact same spot. Yep.
And it was only 2 years, but they did play in the league together at the same time in the same division. So,
yeah, I think Anderson's not going to make it because Joe Thomas has to make it. There's no doubt he's going to be in. Yeah.
So I'll write Joe Thomas down for you.
I thought I'd already said it.
Okay, it's tied up. 22-23. Man.
10:41 left in the third.
Oh, wow. A lot of time.
Darren Woodson.
Fucking got cash fast as hell.
You got Darren Woodson going in? Or
no. I'm trying to figure this guy out because damn, man. I'd love to put Darren Woodson in, but I don't think he's going to make it, man.
Not this year.
No. Devin Hester, yes.
Hester, okay.
They're pushing, and besides, I think Devin Hester's a no-brainer because they're pushing the NFL, the league's all pushing for Devin Hester.
So far, there's 4 unanimous ones: Barber, Wilfork, Thomas, and Hester.
Patrick Willis, definitely. I'm putting him in. And
you think he gets in this year?
I don't even think there's any explanation needed for him.
The only thing that goes against him is that short career.
Yeah,
and you look at the era.
The other guy had the same short career also.
But you look at the era. Ray Lewis.
Yeah, but Ray Lewis is already in. There's no competition there for that.
No, I know, but even though some of those guys are in, like for Rondé, all the guys we're comparing him to are already in.
Well, yeah, that's why I think it's Rondé's turn.
But we were already saying we don't think they're going to put him in.
That we were just talking about the competition. I said didn't I just put him in there?
Yeah, but
okay,
this is our list that we would make.
I can make dual arguments at the same time, dude. It's the way I learn things, man. This one's confusing. James Harrison, Debo, the original Debo.
I don't know that it's that confusing. Like, I almost put him in, but for me, it was I already had Ware and Allen, so I wasn't going to put a third edge rusher. But
I think I don't know those numbers stacked against Allen's, but I think he's just as good or more impactful than Allen was.
Yeah, you can make that argument for sure.
Because people were scared to play against him. Literally. Yeah. I mean, as we know, well,
there's multiple stories of
certain players
we didn't sleep before playing James Harrison. Like multiple stories of offensive linemen saying they didn't sleep the night before playing James Harrison. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't want their lunch money stolen.
Yeah. No, I was like, you won't hear any arguments from me on James Harrison. I love that.
How many am I at there?
Good. You're at 6. You have Barber, Wilfork, Thomas, Hester, Willis, and Harrison.
And Revis.
Okay, so you've got one more spot.
I was just going with 7, but okay.
All right, if you want to leave it at 7, you can.
I would love to put Eric Allen in. I don't. He's not going to get in this year.
I was going to say 3 DBs. I don't think they do.
Yeah. Man, can we go with one more? I'd love to put Willie Anderson in there. But then again,
you don't have an actual wide receiver. I'll say that.
Now you got me down between Torrey Holt and Andre Johnson. Torrey Holt was a beast, man. So was Andre. I can't separate them too much.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You've got so many phenomenal receivers here that I don't think you can go wrong picking.
I think I'll go with Torrey just because he was with that team, and Andre needed a little bit more time.
Show on turf. Yeah.
Now, I mean, but at the same time, if we're going the conversation of who was around them, you could use who was on their team even. Torrey had Isaac Bruce, where Andre Johnson didn't really have anybody helping him out there.
I know I've gone through that argument in my own head. So
yeah.
But
no,
I think they want to clean up that great show on turf there, man. I think they want to get as many of those guys in as they can. Because they deserve it. They deserve it because they were the greatest show on turf. That was
right.
But I mean, you look at the majority of those big name groups, everyone's in.
Right.
On like all these groups. So, and Torrey's the last one for the greatest show on turf.
Was Reggie Wayne on this list too?
Yep. Reggie Wayne's in there.
A bitch, man.
Yep.
No,
that's the hard part here. We've got so many phenomenal players, and you got to get it down to 8 out of 23 phenomenal players.
Yeah.
I'm going Torrey Holt just because he's one of my personal favorites. I love the way he played with his fucking hand broke and shit. And I mean, Aaron Rodgers can't throw a ball, but these guys can go out there and break their fucking hands until their finger looks like it's fucking a pretzel.
Oh, I remember being so grossed out by that as a kid. Seeing Torrey Holt's hand, and I was like, oh, like, no, I got such mad respect for Torrey Holt. Like, so far unanimous ones with Alec still to make his list. Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, Vince Wilfork.
I want to give a shout out to one of the guys on this list that he's the guy who took Rondé's record for consecutive starts was London Fletcher. London Fletcher was a workhorse. London Fletcher was and it's a pity that he probably, because he never made a first team All-Pro. He made second team All-Pro twice. But that guy was really, really a workhorse. He just put up with his lunch bell and went to fucking work every day.
Yep.
Jared Allen, I'm not. I love Jared Allen's antics. I loved all his and I loved it when Donald Penn kicked his fucking ass. Problem with that though is, as usual, you go after somebody, you got to play the next down too.
Yeah. One, for me, there's a little bit of a bias there because of how much I saw Jared Allen when he played for the Vikings and for the Bears.
Right.
Yep. Saw him twice a year for so many years that it just
that's what puts Debo in front of Jared Allen for me too, because Donald Penn wasn't scared to go after his ass at all. Of course, Donald Penn wasn't scared of much, but I don't think Donald Penn even would have went after Debo like that, dude.
No. I mean, you see those workout videos of James Harrison, even after he was retired, and he's some of that weight he's lifted.
Still doing that shit.
Oh my,
man.
It's like, oh my god, it's insane.
Hey guys, somebody has a list in the comments section.
I was waiting until Alec was done to make that or show that.
Go ahead, show that one. Might as well.
I got my
Jason's Hall of Fame list: Peter North,
Ryan
Alec Reynolds
on a list,
Ryan Gosling, Channing Tatum, Lexington Steele, Patrick Swayze, Zac Efron, and the bedroom ostrich.
Alex Schaumer. Oh man, that's cool. I think that's really cool. Somebody think
we didn't write any of this down, did we?
Yeah, I've got it written down.
Do you?
I wrote mine down. So.
Good man.
I wrote down everyone so far.
I can't
Mr. Ostrich, you got your 8?
I have. Let me see the whole list from the start.
You said you had your list. No, you want to see the list.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Nathan.
Happy Thanksgiving, Nathan. Thanks for being on the show, man.
Yes.
Well, go Ravens, Nathan.
Wilfork, Reggie Wayne. Yep.
Wayne.
Reggie Wayne. Jared Allen. Torrey Holt.
Okay, that's halfway done.
DeMarcus Ware.
Kind of feel like you're just reading down the list.
No, I'm looking at a list and picking the ones I want. Darrell Revis.
So you got 2 more.
2 more. All right. Rondé Barber.
Okay, 1 more spot.
And Fred Taylor.
Now, I like the Fred Taylor pick because I loved Fred Taylor. He was the best weapon at running back that and this is including Maurice Jones-Drew. Fred Taylor.
I think being on the same team as him might hurt him a little bit, honestly.
Yeah, but Drew was just coming in when Fred was on his way out. So I saw all of Fred Taylor before he ever played with Drew.
So Andrew gave a list of 6. Holt, Ware, Barber, Wayne, Freeney, and Willis.
Patrick Willis is a beast, man.
I freaking love Patrick Willis, and it was so hard for me to keep him off the list, honestly.
Me too.
I know it's like you said, that shortened career, man. I was like, that might hurt him, but he was great for the Niners.
Yeah,
but don't forget, defensive ends and defensive tackles do get on that list with a short career. Leroy Selman,
but he's a middle linebacker.
Leroy Selman had a shortened career too.
But Willis is a middle linebacker.
Yeah. Well, if a defensive end and defensive tackle can get in there, then middle linebacker, because Leroy's official title was outside linebacker, even though he played defensive end.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, again, you're comparing different positions.
Right.
That's a good list.
Because even outside linebacker to middle linebacker, like Leroy was an edge runner, like a pass rush specialist.
Yeah, Willis has got to go in. But like I said, Ray Lewis is already in. And the only competition from his era right now that he's got on this list is London Fletcher.
Yeah. Now, at the same time,
of course, London Fletcher is going to suffer the same thing as Rondé because he was with a team that wasn't getting watched a lot.
Yep, I was thinking the same thing earlier.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Being a receiver, Alec is my little read. He covers me.
He shuts me down in all the games we play. He says, "Quit being a creep."
I don't think Zach Thomas is going to make it this year.
No.
He's still in that era where there's a lot of great fucking players out there that still haven't made it in yet.
Dexter Coaxley, I have no idea. Like he's not even on the semifinalist list.
Derek Brooks is already in.
Yeah, Brooks is already in.
That eliminates competition for a lot of these guys. Him and Warren Sapp, that eliminates a lot of competition there.
Field goal, Patriots by 3.
Michael, I thought that was a touchdown.
I didn't see the replay enough to.
He crossed the plane.
Quit biting your nails there, Alex.
I'm not. I'm actually just like placing them there. I'm not actually biting because I already bit them. I don't have anything to bite. Don't have any nails to bite.
Who did you pick on the app? So
I believe I picked the Vikings on the app.
Oh, did you? Okay, so
I think so.
I mean, the way it's looking at it, I could see Minnesota winning it.
This game's going to go right down to the wire. It could go either way.
Third quarter, 6:43 and left in the third.
And it's 26-23.
I want to say something, everybody. I hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving today.
Yes.
And keep it going for the rest of the holidays.
Yeah.
Join the holiday spirit.
Nate, Will Shields is a Hall of Famer, correct? I was like, because if he's not, he absolutely better be.
Same, Willie Rofe, I think, is in there.
I believe he's in there as well. Bucs Skull Gang's picks: Fred Taylor, Barber, Revis, Joe Thomas, Jared Allen, Andre Johnson, Vince Wilfork, and Eric Allen. That's a phenomenal class.
You can't go wrong with any of these guys, really, for being honest. Although I will say, Andrew Faubert, you got to put Revis in, man. You cannot. Nobody should. Even Johnny put Revis in.
Now, I think this, like me personally, I took this as Revis Thomas, and then this is who else.
No, I know. I mean, Andrew's the only one I've seen that didn't have Revis in his.
No, but like
list.
what I'm saying is, I might be wrong, but I assumed because he didn't have Joe Thomas in there either. So I assumed it was those two, and this is who else.
Okay.
That's how I took it, but I could be wrong. Shelby from earlier said Bozo picks, and Alec thought it was Andrew because the name didn't come up. So Andrew, typically the Hall of Fame class is 8 players. So that's why we were doing a list of 8. But you got 2 more players. I just assumed it was Revis and Joe Thomas. But he might have a different 2. So we'll see.
Well, the 8th guy is usually a coach or
a senior.
Senior, yeah.
Well,
I don't even see any of those on here.
No, because this is
they did 2 last year, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, he said Allen and Thomas. Okay. So no Revis. Wow.
I hope that's not biased. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I don't know how anybody cannot put him in the. I mean, he's a walk-in.
They're not going to put Zach Thomas in over Revis. I mean,
no, that's Joe Thomas.
But yeah.
Yeah, because how I'm looking at the class, and that's why I just assumed Andrew was doing it too, was Darrelle Revis, Joe Thomas, and whoever else. Yeah, but Andrew, you got to look at the entire career, my guy.
Yeah,
he was like top 5 corner all time when he was with the Jets, and then was very good back to the when he went back to went to the Patriots, won that Super Bowl.
He had 3 interceptions with 1 leg for the Bucs.
Oh,
think about
landing strip.
Come on, man. I'm sorry, Andrew. I love you, buddy, but Revis he's an all-time great, dude. You can't
top 5 corner of all time.
You're
top 5.
Don't like the guy.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Andrew just doesn't like the guy because he played 1 year for the Bucs. And
if you can name me 5 corners better than Revis, then we'll talk.
Yeah,
Dion, yes. To me, Dion's the best corner of all time. There's no debate on that.
Bailey.
If you ask me,
you don't think Bailey's better? Dion's better than automatic. Those two corners are everybody else is here. I don't care who you are. You can name whoever you want. Everybody else is here. Darrelle Revis, Dion and Darrell Green are here. They're like far above the rest.
See, to me, those top 2 where they've kind of separated is Dion and Champ Bailey for me.
Champ Bailey, okay. No, not Ty Law. I mean, he's good, but not.
I mean, Ty Law's a Hall of Famer already,
he is a Hall of Famer.
Chris McAllister, no.
Aaron Glenn,
no. Aaron Glenn was not better than Revis.
He was not. He was one of the first shutdown corners, man.
He didn't do it as well as Revis.
Yeah.
Oh, that's because Revis is fresh in your eyes.
No, well, you got
Champ Bailey.
Yeah, to me, Champ Bailey is better than Revis. Like Revis at best for me would be 3.
Yeah.
Night Train.
Yeah, Lane.
Yep, he's in my top 5 as well.
And Ty Law, Ty Law is a personal favorite of mine, but I don't know if. See, he did more stuff too than Revis did.
I love Ty Law, but to me, I can't put him in the top 5. He's in my top 5 like favorites.
Talib.
That's what I'm having a problem with because I have a bias toward Ty Law.
Yeah,
and I have to go
Talib,
back and look at their careers.
Talib played in the same era as Darrelle Revis, and Darrelle Revis was just better.
Yeah.
Darrell Green, Darrell Green's the last one in my top 5.
Mm-hmm.
To me, first in my top 5. He's number 1, and then Dion. And Dion said the same thing. Darrell Green would outrun any. You want to talk about physical skills? Darrell Green would outrun anybody out there on the field. Everybody. He beat Willie Galt. Willie Galt was a fucking Olympic champion. Okay, and then you got the fact that he can do it all. He would go across the field. He could play in the center or nickel and all over the fucking place. They could have made him. And he played at a height less. He was shorter than fucking Kyler Murray, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
And he was covering Willie Galt, who was 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't put Rondé in. Rondé's in my I would put him in my top 10. I can't put him top 5 though.
I can. I can.
Why?
Okay, then give me your top 5.
Skill set. The skill
Because
set.
you've listed about 7 corners. Give me your top 5.
Because every time I open my mouth, I fucking remember somebody else. That comes with age. You'll be that way when you get older. You'll be yelling about fucking Revis to somebody 20 years from now, and they'll be like, "No fucking way. He's not better than watch it."
Well, and see, notice my
and
top
I
2
would
were
almost put, and you know what? You were laughing about Talib, but I would almost put Talib there. He's got more titles, that's for sure.
Charles Woodson. Yeah, you got to put him in the
Charles Woodson.
top 5.
See what I'm saying?
See,
you can't make a top 5 list because they keep
the only reason I don't put him in my top 5 is because he spent so much time at the free safety position.
Yeah.
Well, that was during
that's just a great football player, man.
Yeah.
But it was almost
I'm taking the guy that could do more things for my team than just one.
I'm not, because I'm talking as a pure corner. If you're talking pure corner,
most pure corners have a lot of skill sets. Even Dion, except for Dion's tackling abilities, could play everywhere on the field.
But when we're talking, for example, Rondé Barber, you're bringing everything into account, the ability to play safety and all that.
So do these
where I'm talking purely. No, we're not talking Hall of Fame at this point. We're talking top 5 actual corners.
I think
the top 5 players. I think
actually Revis was a. I don't want to keep arguing because I do like Revis. I do like his abilities. And the more I argue, the more it sounds like I'm trying to belittle what he did, and I can't do that.
Well, and that's the hard thing about making these kind of lists, right? Is because you try to vouch for your guys, and then it sounds like you're shitting on all these other guys, where these are all elite, absolutely amazing players.
Well, I was going to say real quick, Alex, like, as Bucs fans, with Revis only being there 1 year, there is a lot of kind of hatred for him, and I never understood it.
Well, because I'll tell you this: we watched Deion Sanders move from team to team to team and still play at an elite level.
Right.
Darrell Green did it twice. Name somebody who hasn't. That's going to be a Hall of Famer who didn't go somewhere else and play at an elite level.
If you can give me a player that has that list that you can go get on Revis against those elite receivers, that caliber of receivers, that many, then I'll talk about him not being top 5.
Everybody, all these guys played against these other players. Talib played against some of the greatest fucking players out there in our era,
and he got his ass beat by some of them. That's what I'm saying.
Well, Revis has been beat. Mike Evans caught touchdowns on Revis. Does that? But that doesn't mean he can't be beat just because you're saying Darrell Green's been beat by Willie Gault.
Yeah, no, we're not saying Revis was unstoppable. I'm just saying like nobody's unstoppable.
Right. That's my point.
When you got,
but if you can show me that list of like Randy Moss, Calvin Johnson, Terrell, like so many people that are in most people's top 5 to top 7 at a position, and he locked them all down pretty much every time he played them, then I'll talk about Revis falling out of my top 5. But to me, he's locked into the top 5 because of what he did against all those guys.
Yeah.
Because I can't think of another player that had that kind of success against that list of players.
The thing with me is Revis is the only one of these greats that I can think of that only played that one spot like that. That's like Devin Hester. Okay. Devin Hester was great at one thing, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame because of it. But look how long it took them to realize that specialist ability was something special.
Yeah, but there's so many people that are that one thing and do it so well.
But they don't get recognized for their football ability as soon as the others do, because the others are showing it every time they step on the field on every position. That's what it takes to make a great football team. Everybody talks about, okay, here's an example. Lineman.
Yeah.
Everybody wants your fucking left tackle to turn into a guard or a center. right? Every fucking time we hear about linemen, we want, oh, well, why don't they just take him and put him over here? Some of them can do that, but it's not. It's a specialist job because the left and right, right? Okay, so the specialists don't get recognized as much as the ones that are more versatile.
It depends. Again, it depends on what position you're talking about.
And that's how the Hall of Fame has voted for years and years, is because specialists, the more you can do, the more valuable you are to the team.
Now, are we gonna, with the same argument, are we gonna knock Joe Thomas because he only played left tackle then?
No, I'm just explaining.
So then why are we?
I'm explaining to you why they voted that way.
But I'm talking about, if we're talking best offensive lineman of all time, Joe Thomas is up there, right? He's right among the very top of the best offensive linemen.
Dallas.
Yeah, but Joe Thomas only played left tackle, so why are we knocking Darrelle Revis for only playing that outside corner?
But this is something that's just happening recently, dude. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
No, I'm not talking Hall of Fame. I'm talking where we're saying Darrelle Revis isn't top 5 because he only played that outside corner.
Well,
why does he get knocked for?
Marpet could probably have been one of the Bucs' best ever, except had to go back to school if he had, but because of his versatility.
But that's why is it a knock if you do that one thing better than pretty much anyone's ever done it?
I didn't say it. You're putting words in my mouth. I'm explaining to you how it's perceived.
No, but when I'm asking what your list is, that's why I'm arguing.
Did I not put Darrelle Revis on the list?
Yeah, you did. You did.
But, no, I'm saying I'm still in the top 5 corner thing.
But if I'm picking a team, I want the guy who can do everything great.
Because
of Revis is so good at that one thing. You're not overlooking. I'm not going to put words in your mouth.
Yeah,
you're not overlooking it, but you don't give it the respect that you're giving Revis. That, like Rondé, did everything great.
See, if I'm building
he overcame the lack of speed by learning angles where he would shut. You forget Rondé Barber shut down fucking one side of the field too. Rondé Barber has stopped multiple of the through 3 or 4 eras. Well, 2.
Now, and see, if we're talking about building a team like that, if we're building it nowadays, you get 3 corners. So Revis is absolutely one of them because then I can just lock that one side of the field down. Rondé's one of them because I can throw him anywhere.
For them, when they brought him to the Bucs, is that Rondé would lock one side down, Revis would lock another side down, and you got the guy.
They didn't play together. They didn't play together in Tampa.
Yeah, it was Rondé's last year when the Revis came in.
Rondé was still there in 2014.
Yeah, he was playing safety.
No, Rondé retired after 2012. Then Revis came along after that.
Yeah, Revis wasn't there with Rondé.
Yeah.
Oh, must have been that fucking guy that got shoved out of football.
Oh, are you talking Alteron Werner?
Werner, yeah, that was him.
Yeah. that was
one of the most overrated corners in NFL history.
Well, and Andrew makes a good point here. Everyone gets.
Wait a minute, there's a good question. I'm putting him in the Hall of Fame after he retires. I don't know if he's first ballot.
To me, he's not first ballot, but he is a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he absolutely is. If you look at the corners
that's true too, Andrew.
Well, and that's what I was getting at is everyone gets burned by nobodies at some point.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is when we're looking at the players, to me, I'm looking at them at their best. So when I'm talking those top 5s, I'm talking about these players at their peaks. What were they like at their peaks? And how long was that peak is also in that discussion.
Well, the biggest thing that's in the discussion is does your team game plan for that person?
Yep. That's another huge part of that. And Nathan, we talked about this before the show. Yes, Cordell Patterson, I believe, will be a Hall of Famer. Same reason Devin Hester is.
Now this one, I'm not going there because I don't care how many. remember, Terrell Owens wasn't a first ballot.
Now, Terrell Owens wasn't a first ballot because he was a dick, but
well, there we go. That goes back to the other conversation we were having.
Almost there. Keep me on the charger.
What are you doing?
Phone.
Turn it off.
Oh
No, it's how the phone works. I'll tell you on that one.
Sorry, Johnny, you were saying about Terrell Owens, Mike Evans.
I forgot what I was saying.
No, I mean,
it wasn't Mike Evans. I was talking about. It was the guy.
You're saying Terrell Owens wasn't a first ballot.
Haley. I was talking about Terrell Owens, Charles Haley. That's another thing. The issue that I have with the Hall of Fame is they're not looking at just their football aspect half the time. They're looking at how they get treated, or surprisingly, though, Warren Sapp, who treated everybody like garbage, got in first ballot, and then fucking Charles Haley, who has fucking 10 championship rings, fucking he gets fucking this for years and years and years.
Yeah. And
Mike Evans, I mean, he's no doubt a Hall of Famer.
They don't like to do wide receivers, as you can tell by the list here.
Good, but I don't know about first. But he's saying top 5 all time. No, I can name you like 7.
Well, his career's not even over yet. We don't know what the fuck he's going to be.
Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Calvin Johnson, Michael Irvin, Chris Carter, Larry Fitzgerald, right off the bat. I mean, that's just 7. I mean,
I know people that'll push back on you about Larry Fitzgerald too.
Right.
There's some that'll push back on Larry Fitz. There's some that'll probably push back on Irvin and them too.
Yep. And you know what? Evans is in the same era as Devontae Adams. So you could argue Adams maybe a little bit above Evans.
His numbers will have to prove it out at the end of his career. That's where that comes in. That's why I said you can't. Yeah. Their career is not over. Evans is only probably about halfway through. Well, he's been here, 8 years?
Yeah.
This will be the 9th season, if I'm not mistaken.
A good average for wide receivers is between 13 and 16 years, dude. So
now, at the same time, most of these receivers, generally it's later in their career where they get all the injuries that Mike Evans seems to constantly have.
So we'll see if that affects. 1,000-yard season this year. I didn't even realize that he had got those numbers already like that.
Yeah. Nathan, no. Looking at the list of receivers, there's no way Anquan's a first ballot.
Yeah, you can't call anybody a first balloter unless they're Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, or
Calvin Johnson,
Randy Moss.
That's those 3 are the standards for it right there.
And Calvin was first ballot.
So. Yeah. But he wasn't a standard because he wasn't a unanimous vote.
I mean, yeah, fair. Yeah, Calvin wasn't. If Calvin played longer, then he would have been.
Right.
But Calvin wasn't one of those guys where you immediately said, okay, Calvin's in. Who else are we talking? Like that year was Peyton probably took a second. Like Peyton in. Who else?
Everybody that knows Anquan Bolden knows what he did and what he's capable of doing. But he's another one that's under the radar guy. He's an under the radar guy too. So you got to think like that too.
Nathan, no. Larry Fitz isn't. I don't think he's a first ballot either.
No.
Because if you look at it.
So that's what aggravates me with him right now. He's so attached to that team. Here's why I would put him in. If I was voting, I would vote for him to be a first balloter because of the fucking quarterbacks he had to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Because for every Carson Palmer he had a Drew Stanton, a John Skelton, Kevin Cobb, like
Logan Thomas before he switched positions.
What was his name? The USC quarterback. He's on the college game day shit now. Matt Leinart.
Yeah.
See, he was so forgettable. I couldn't even think of who he was.
Well, half of them are forgettable. You can't. I'm sure there's 5 more on that list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nathan's like, what?
I mean, look at the list of receivers that are there, Nathan.
And you're talking about the same situation as Rondé. Look at the players that were against him at that in the same era with him. And because his career is so long, it stretches through all these guys. That, to Ben's point, is going to hurt Evans because if Evans has a career that we think he can probably have, the good thing is he's being talked about constantly. Evans is still talked about constantly. Every year there's a new Justin Jefferson and a new Adams and shit. And Evans is steady right across that board there. So that helps Evans out. But the longer his career, the more of those Adamses and stuff are going to pop in.
Yeah. Nathan, if you're talking about those other top 3 receivers that we said, which was what? We said Rice, Moss, and who was the other one? We said we're like this. Owens, yeah.
They all had quarterbacks that were Hall of Famers too.
But I mean, at the same time, you had, and here's for me where it's first ballot consideration is, can you name me multiple times where that was the best player at their position? And to me, I don't.
Multiple teams.
While Fitzgerald was always up there, I don't know that you can say he was the number 1 receiver in the league at almost any point in his career.
Honestly, it would have helped Fitzgerald's Hall of Fame chances of going in first ballot if he would have came to Tampa to play with Brady.
So my question is on the whole thing that Johnny was talking about. So say with the direction that's going, you would see Ronnie Barber, worst case scenario, being it next year.
No, that's worst case
scenario. I mean, that's like worst case scenario if Revis went in, it's an option that Ronnie Barber won't be in. It'll be next year.
There's a possibility. I mean, we all picked Barber to go in. I think it's this year or next year. That's where I'm at with it.
The way it was explained to me earlier, I think he gets in just because the competition in that era has all been put in already. The people there's 3 people in his 30-30 club. The other 2 are already in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes the chances better for him.
And to answer these Bucs skull game, Julio's going to be in because not I don't think first ballot, but I think he will get, like, he'll definitely get in.
Yeah.
AB.
It's hard to get a receiver in because there's such a flood of receivers in the league. They're like one of the most essential positions since Don Coryell started the airball shit, right?
Yep.
So
now, talent-wise, AB will get in. Talent-wise should get in. I'll say that.
It won't be in my lifetime. Of course, I have a shortened version of my lifetime compared to you.
I was trying to think, how long are you giving yourself here? Here's the thing, has he officially retired?
At least as long as Charles Haley took to get in.
Has AB officially retired yet? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he actually. I don't know if he signed paperwork though. But he's
left 5 years
football.
now.
He said, I'll never play football again and all that shit. So to me,
but
that's
then not long ago he was talking about trying to get back in. So that's why I was like,
I mean, his career is basically. I mean, unless some teams like, you know what, fuck it. Basically, he's already dug himself in a deep hole already.
I don't. With this one,
Hester's going in this year, man. They're the NFL, the leagues are pushing for it this year. So if that opens the door for Patterson.
Yep, and I think there's a difference between, like, for me, Hester, Patterson, and them go in as essentially as returners. Because I think as like wide receiver running backs,
calling it a weapon. I think that's how they'll designate it.
I would if they do that, then Hester, Patterson, and then I like Harvin and Djax as well.
Yep.
But I don't know that they will do the offensive weapon thing. Personally, Janikowski isn't a Hall of Famer, is he?
No, but he's a hog. He always built like one. Oh, okay, there you go, Nathan. I don't
Is
know.
Dicker a kicker?
There is a kicker with the last
I know,
name Dicker.
For some reason, I just brought that
Hear
in.
that, Jason? Hammy.
Oh, good lord.
Uh,
No,
how many kickers have made it in?
Morton Anderson. Did Vinatieri or any of those guys get in yet?
Yeah, I think isn't Vinatierian.
I'm gonna look this up.
I don't think Vinatieri.
I don't think he is either.
He's been retired for like.
I thought Gostkowski was in.
No, Vinatieri didn't retire that long ago. I don't think he's.
Never mind. Gostkowski's still.
Okay.
I think he's still considered playing.
I mean, Justin Tucker's going.
Are we projecting? Will
Justin Tucker's going in?
Yeah. Well, they're already talking about on the NFL shows and stuff. They talk about Justin Tucker could have been drafted like a number one, and he's a weapon and this.
You see the thing, Ben?
Oh, so there's four kickers in and one punter.
What's that, Alex?
Oh, so you see that thing with Tony Dungy in them?
No.
So
I'm trying to see the score real quick.
The only punter is Ray
It's
Guy.
26-26.
Okay.
The only punter in is Ray Guy. And to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe you can make an argument for like Shane Leckler or something in a couple of years. I agree with Andrew. Justin Tucker will go in. To me, he's the best kicker of all time.
67.
Yeah.
Current, yeah. The only kickers in the Hall of Fame, Morton Anderson. They have George Blanda listed as quarterback and kicker, so
of course.
They have Lou Groza listed as tackle and kicker, so he's technically in there as a kicker as well. And
didn't Blanda play a whole game by himself? Threw the ball to himself, caught touchdowns, ran the
ball. Yeah. And Jan Stenerud.
Oh, I remember Jan Stenerud.
Jan.
Yeah.
Swedish or something? Is he from Scandinavia or something?
Yes.
I believe so.
Good ear there.
Yeah, Norwegian.
Good nail. That's Scandinavia.
Yeah. Matt Stover is not a Hall of Famer. I don't think he will be a Hall of Famer. He was very good though. Shane Leckler was one of the only other punters I could think of. Maybe Andy Lee when he finally retires are the only guys as a punter I really think you can make the argument for. Sam
Is
Cook,
he on the Cardinals?
Andy Lee, yeah. He might be in San Fran right now, actually. He's bounced back and forth between those two.
I think Andy Lee is on the Cardinals.
I knew
because I guess they're saying in the
whole gang would bring up Matt Bryant. You don't get in the Hall of Fame for creating curses. That's just
Jason said Matt Gay is definitely a Hall of Famer in his book.
I thought he'd like Dicker the Kicker more. That's actually why I brought him up earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, they look.
Now that we're in
Vikings over on that one.
Who's the fat kicker that's out there now? God, I can't even remember what team he's with. All I do is I look up and he's some big fat guys just kicking. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He looks like a defensive end, dude.
Who?
Or an old school tight end.
Well, to me, that Presley Harvin's a bigger punter. He's a heavier set punter for the Steelers.
No.
Yeah.
Damn,
that's who I thought of.
Hey, what happened to that one?
Maybe it is. I see a lot of
the one punter from the Raiders.
Marquette King.
He punted, he would dance.
Well, he went to the Broncos and did fuck all and never played again.
I would put Galloway in before I'd put Keyshawn, but no, neither one of them are probably ever going to be in.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put either of them in, but yeah, I agree with what you were saying.
They low-key just fucked the Vikings over on that call. the Patriots went offside. They said it was false start in Minnesota.
Damn.
He definitely jumped over on the line. They showed the replay and everything.
The Bucs' new punter has got attitude. I
Yeah.
was angry that they got rid of Anger.
Yeah.
Had to play a little pun there, but this guy's got attitude, man. It's the most exciting I've ever been over a fucking punter in my life, man. I mean, get out of the way. But that's normally how I look at a punter. But this guy comes out with some fucking attitude, like the
Yeah.
Lions kicker that they got rid of.
Yeah.
Lions kicker.
Or was it your kicker? I'm pretty sure it was. You were all excited about him, and they let him go, and fucking he's with somebody else now, nailing it.
Matt Prater?
No, never mind. There's a new guy,
Oh, Riley Patterson.
Patterson.
The one for the Jaguars.
Oh,
yeah.
never mind. Minnesota ball. They didn't say exactly what happened.
Well, I know on the punt it was running into the kicker, yeah.
Wow.
Who ran into the kicker?
That's the karma for the Patriots.
Pierre Strong, the rookie running back.
Oh,
wow, Justin Herbst, nice catch.
He's had a couple this game.
Yeah.
And he's had a couple like that.
But not the one like CeeDee Lamb today with that one-handed.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Jefferson. Now you decide to start playing again.
CeeDee was like, Odell,
I don't think either of these guys are. Longwell or Crosby, I don't.
CeeDee Lamb today was like, Odell, come to Dallas.
Yeah.
I got your one-hander right here.
I wouldn't be surprised if he does go to fucking the Giants. I won't be surprised if he goes to Dallas, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I think he's going to Dallas. Yeah. I think it's a mistake if he goes to the Giants, honestly.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to have him back because that's his whole meeting there is going to see if they'll have him back.
Yeah. But to me,
he didn't leave them on really good terms at all, man. So
nope.
I guess primetime Kirk is resurrecting his career.
I don't even know how.
Well, there's still 9.5 minutes left. Let's pause here.
He's doing good in primetime so far. You know.
Let me ask you this: how do you think that came about where the Giants are even on that list?
What's that?
Because they desperately need somebody to throw the ball to.
They also received Robinson.
Why do you think OBJ is wanting to even talk to him though?
Because they need somebody to throw the ball to. He can walk in and immediately be their number one.
No, I know a lot of guys like to go.
But the thing is, if you like, my opinion on that is, if you like lean on him to be your number one, what's to say that he gets injured on that? If you just go to the Cowboys, you have CeeDee Lamb.
I hate to hear that shit, man. What's to say anybody gets injured anytime, any day? I mean, look at they drafted you guys drafted a guy knowing that he was hurt, but
yeah,
that shit happens, man. You can't be scared to pull a trigger on somebody just because he might get injured. Everybody might get injured.
No, Des Bryant's not on the list. He's not even eligible yet. First off.
I don't think he's going to make the list either. Another situation where he was good for a short time in Dallas, and then he left and just disappeared because he didn't carry the skill set with him.
And again, that span where he was good in Dallas was like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough.
Touchdown, Vikings. Thielen.
Yep.
His most what everybody remembers from Des Bryant is the catch, no catch.
Yep.
That's
and really his stupid X celebration when he scored a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even remember that until you just mentioned
it. Nathan said Jared Goff played a good game today. He had a touchdown, but that defense is garbage. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say the defense as it's playing right now is garbage. Yeah. The defense the last month has been, I'll still put it below average. It's still not good, but to say they were garbage, I don't know.
Aren't they ranked like right at average in the league?
Defensively, they're still low.
Dead middle. I think they're like dead middle in there, 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah, but what's encouraging is that the last few weeks it's gotten better. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's not been like 1 week it's great and then the next week it's crap. You know,
the defense has been steadily.
And that's what you want. You want it to be consistent. So You know,
This is when you want to be coming on too. You want to come on strong the second half of the season, not the first half.
Well, especially with our schedule the rest of the way.
Half. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got a favorable schedule, don't they? Like the Jaguars.
Yeah, so we're home versus the Jaguars, home versus the Vikings, at the Jets, at the Panthers, home versus the Bears, and at Lambeau to end the season.
It's like the Buccaneers, man. They got a pretty favorable schedule the rest of the season.
At least 3 wins.
The Niners is the biggest.
See, I've got 4 right now, which would put us at 8 and 9.
3 or 4, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Doable.
Yep.
Absolutely doable. You got to beat them guys.
My only concern is
you've done it recently too, so it's not like it's out of the question. That's what I mean. Like you guys step up with the big games there,
and especially at home.
What's that, Alex?
The only question, my only question is like after you hear like the Vita Vea news, who takes that spot? Because you already know Nick Chubb is. I mean, we saw Kenneth Walker, but I'm not saying like it's going to change my pick. But I'm saying who's going to be that one person that takes that spot this week? Because right now he's questionable. I mean,
what spot are you talking about?
Like if Vita Vea doesn't play, who's replacing him to be that run stuffer in the middle?
They'll use Roaches and those guys, and the game plan. They'll scheme for it.
They'll rotate.
No one person on that team is going to take Vita's place. They're going to have to.
You can't.
I mean, I'm not saying take this place. I'm saying for that specific game, if he's out, because right now he's questionable.
Yeah, you'll rotate like Roaches and a couple other guys in.
I think they're going to see how he does tomorrow.
They'll probably do a lot with linebacking core too in that spot too against the run.
You'll have the linebackers pushing down a lot.
We saw that a lot the last game they played.
Yeah, because I feel like it's like in the situation that we're in,
different kind of position.
I feel like they shouldn't be, because I know like someone, I'm not sure who it was, I was saying that when Ryan Jensen's gonna be back, I feel like they should wait closer to know like if they're gonna go to playoff seeding.
So you're almost at the point now where if you want to try and make playoffs, you gotta go.
Touchdown, Thielen.
You're behind.
Oh, they're just showing a replay of it. I didn't see
it. Okay. I was like, man, you are way behind if you just saw that.
26-30.
You got indirect TV if you got
Fuck direct TV, man.
Bouncing off 6 satellites to get to
damn snowflake.
Hicks, if he's healthy, is part of that rotation.
Yeah. See his team turn off.
Hicks.
I know when healthy he's good, but when he's not.
Is he though? I mean, he's kind of like just average when he's healthy, and that's
at this point in his career. Yeah, well, depends what you're calling good for. Like, good is relative.
A
right?
body,
so
body to put out there to make people run around.
No comment, Jason.
Yeah.
Joe Tryon is improving. He still tries to he does
Interesting.
I'd like to see him slow down a little bit and think about where he's going when he's pushing his man upfield, because he goes upfield. He's falling into their trap. He lets them push it. They let him push them upfield past the quarterback, which you don't want to do.
Just I'm going to jump in here quick. They showed a stat for the game tonight that all 12 scores, whoever scored, either tied the game or got the lead. There's been no, 2 scores back-to-back for a team. That 12 is the most since 2018.
Wow.
Well, seeing as we're almost 2 hours into the show, should we finally do our picks?
Yeah, why not? Only been in almost 2 hours.
Yeah. All right. So, Ben, I already wrote yours down because I wasn't sure if you were going to be on or not. But you can still.
I put Ben's in the chat thing anyway in the other day when he put them up on his fucking group.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wrote Ben's and Marty's down all the way, and then I wrote the early games down. I did not write tonight's game. But Also, the logos will be back next week because everyone played this week. I did not have enough room on my board to do all 16 games. So once people
lack of preparation there, buddy.
I mean, you're damn right it is. You're damn right.
First the khakis, now this.
Yeah.
Hey, no. The khakis, I'm sorry that I'm a massive human being and couldn't find any that fucking fit. I went to like 10 different stores and.
Well, it's crazy. We planned this a month ago.
But it all relied on these games to go the way they did, Alec. That's the thing.
You should have bought them ahead of time.
Alex, let's just let Ben and Alec have the floor and let them just preach that shit like they've been doing in the fucking chat all day.
No, that
God, we got so tired of hearing something.
Johnny, I like this. More grumpier, bud.
Oh, that shit that Ben did last night was funny. He's like, "Oh hell no."
Hi. Hey, Ben.
Wait. Did I go back to? Oh, why did we?
I lost somebody. Go ahead. Oh shit!
Just wanted to leave him up there because of the name. All right. So the game that's currently going on, New England at Minnesota. I had Minnesota.
Let's talk about the first two.
We already talked about the first two.
I want to hear your picks again.
I went 0 for 2. I had Detroit and the Giants. All right, so I'll start off with the records. I'm not counting today's games yet because then I fall farther behind.
No, too late.
So going into today, Alec was 53-31. I was 90-74. Marty was 99-65. Johnny is now in second at 101-63. And Ben is taking the lead at 102-62. So Ben's got a 1-game lead for first place.
And we're still behind Slick's show. Damn it.
Yeah. So I'll just recap. Or what? Do you guys want to say your picks for earlier today?
Mine was
spoiler. You guys all have the same
Bills
picks.
And Cowboys.
Yeah, you guys were actually smart and made the right picks.
Yeah, but you knew what you were doing right away.
Oh yeah, I did it on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me saying fuck it and just go and try to steal a couple games if I could. Yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some. In this case, I lost both, but
so far.
You really should have won that Lions game, though. Seriously, dude. You guys are
honestly, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Well, I talked myself into it with the whole, we're at home. We took the Eagles to their limit at home. We kicked the shit out of Washington at home. Like, we've played very well. Like, we're a whole different team at home.
Right. And
so that's why I was like, well, maybe.
The problem is Josh is still Josh.
yeah. And Stephon is still Stephon.
And the Lions still young team. They're just
very young.
Yeah, we're still
learning how to win, and that's what I like. It takes that to change that culture. They're learning how to win, and they're young enough that this is their culture now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We won as many in a row as we won the entirety of last season.
Right.
That right there was like
no first pick for you this year.
Yeah, the Rams pick is still better than our pick. That's that is a win.
I forgot
the Rams pick for us right now is
like
right now, if the draft was tomorrow, I believe we're picking 7th and 13th.
That's good.
Something like that.
At the end of the season, that might even change to first because fucking Rams just they can't get it together.
Yeah, sit Stafford and Cup the rest of the year, please. Donald and Ramsey while you're at
it. Bucs got them a win.
The Texans. Number one.
No, they're not getting past the Texans.
Well, that's actually going to the Browns anyways. So. Oh no, wait, it is going to.
No, Browns picks are going to the Texans. Yeah,
right.
They're going to have
which currently the Texans have pick 1, and I want to say they're pick like 11 or 12 right now with the other pick.
They were holding out for the most picks, and they still fucking got screwed.
Although, fucking, you want to talk about a team that's running away with the early draft? The Eagles have pick 31 and like pick 5.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles are realistically going to walk away with either Will Anderson or Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
The Eagles got that Jimmy Johnson pick, trade shit.
Doesn't Seattle have a Denver's first round pick next year too?
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a lot of teams with that one trades to get early picks.
So Seattle, they hit on their draft picks this year. Probably going to hit on the draft next year. I mean, jeez.
Seattle normally drafts very well, although typically it's not the first round that they draft well. Right. I will say that. Typically they throw away their first round pick.
Charles Cross has been okay, but it's guys like Kenneth Walker and a couple other guys down the list that have done well for him.
Kobe Bryant, Tariq Woolen, and a few very, very solid players.
Yeah.
Oh, talking about the Lions. Yeah. I'm like I said to start the show today, I had no problem with that game. A couple play calls I question, but I mean, if there's a couple things you question out of a 60-minute game, what the hell is there to really complain about?
How many plays did they run? You know,
a lot.
Do the math on that, and you'll figure out you can't be perfect. If you're perfect, you're never going to lose. Period.
I mean, you were tied at 25. And
with 22 seconds left or whatever the hell it was.
So,
and it took a hell of a play for them to win that game. And like we said, if it was a difference of 5 yards might not even be 5 yards might be too much. If it was even a couple yards different, that kicker probably missed that field goal. What happened there?
The New England held them and Bucs and Minnesota.
Oh, it was a punt. Okay.
And Bill Belichick's over there on the phone to Brady saying, "Hey, man, can you come up here just for a minute?"
Matt, I'm telling you, they just need to start Bailey Zappi, honestly.
I liked Zappi. I don't know why they pulled him.
Because it's a first-round pick versus a fourth-round pick. Both on their rookie contracts.
Plus, I'm sure
play to win the game.
And I'm sure Nick Saban called Bill like, "Hey, Bill,
don't pull my guy.
What the
fuck? Why is he not playing right now? Put Mac back in there right now."
If you don't put Mac back in, you're never getting another Alabama player.
Yeah. That's right. I'll do it.
Look at him and say, "You're still just an assistant. Shut the fuck up."
Nathan, I'll answer this one because I had it go through my mind a few times today in our game too. Is one that they really like that young tight end James Mitchell. I just realized what I just said. Have fun with that, Jason and Hammy. I'll give him another one. 2, the tight end doesn't get used that much.
Virgin meat.
I thought about that one before saying it.
Good run here by the Patriots.
Yeah, they didn't use Hawkinson as much as he was going to warrant that money. He wanted to reset the tight end market, which is north of $15 million.
Go.
Which Hawkinson's role in the offense does not warrant north of $15 million. He was already $9 million was guaranteed next year, and then you had to sign him. So this is just kind of seeing. I mean, they got a second and a third for him. I mean, they gave up 2 fourths, but
I just think he was one of your
better. He was your whole offense all last year. I mean, at one point, you know,
last year,
yeah, he's one of your better players. I mean, that's the only reason I could. If you had so many good players, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, you know, just one guy or lose. But
see, but offensively, weapon-wise, we do now. That's the thing. He's falling farther and farther down the list of targets. That's where he's going to warrant that much money, and he's behind Amon-Ra and Swift and Jamal and probably Jameson Williams. And
I'm honestly surprised the Vikings have used him the way they have because they don't normally do that. They're using him like these other tight ends that you've been seeing coming into the league, like Kelsey and shit, man.
But to be fair, they haven't really had a tight end that is healthy enough, long enough to warrant using like that. Like Irv Smith never stayed on the field longer than like 3 weeks.
I'm talking historically, and they just don't use. It's not their technique. It's not their style to use a tight end.
It's a new, different style of offense, though.
Right.
This is the first year with O'Connell, so that makes sense. But to me, Nathan, just to kind of sum up the Hawkinson thing, it was they weren't going to agree on money, so you get something for them. You don't lose them for nothing at that point. And to get 2 second-round picks for a player at that position is solid return. It really is.
Mac Jones just got
5 to 30.
Ooh.
You're ahead of me still. I even checked my
Jason
fucking thing to make sure I was
the tight end talk.
Ooh, Sean's in the house.
It's kind of like Patriots' fault. Like you
Kyle Rudolph
back-to-back run plays.
Now,
Kyle Rudolph.
They weren't used like Hawkinson's being used right now for them, though. That's the thing.
No.
In the passing game, Hawkinson's arguably the number 2 target right now. I don't think you've ever really been able to say that about a Vikings tight end.
He got hit in the face.
That's why.
I quit looking at that. Yeah, Steve Jordan. Steve Jordan was. He was still underused with them, man. He was.
I don't know why they don't put Zappy in.
Yeah, and that's the point that we're getting at is they haven't utilized a tight end the way they're utilizing Hawkinson. Yeah, there's no
getting around it.
Way to talk about this
I don't feel bad for you, man. You guys loved putting me in that position whenever I mentioned the word tight end.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like, there's no clean way to talk about this position. Yeah. Everything sounds dirty, so. But it was also he might have been the number 2 target, but it was a different style of football.
Yes.
So
except for the Patriots 4th down,
and it was Steve fucking Jordan for Christ's sakes too. You couldn't not use him. You know what I mean? That's Steve Jordan is a very undervalued fucking tight end in history.
This is likely do or die here for the Patriots.
They're not gonna get it. It's just
I don't think so either. It's 4th and 16.
With Bailey's, if it was with Bailey Zappi, I would have a little bit of confidence, but
they were kind of close.
You know, Nick Saban's at home. God damn it, Bill! Why don't you have an offensive line? Get a goddamn offensive line.
See, but here's the thing: they blocked long enough.
Well, do a better
Why
job.
go to Aguilar in that fucking spot, man? God, come on.
Bill, you're going to have to draft one of my receivers here, man. This is ridiculous.
They don't have a receiver worth drafting this year. That's the thing.
No, next year. I'm talking about next year, Alex. All right? I'll give you one of my receivers.
See, here, they don't have a receiver on their team worth drafting at this point. So for the next 3 years, Bryce Young, his only weapons he has are the fucking running backs. So
you're telling me one of my wide receivers is better than Nelson Aguilar?
Yeah, that is what I'm telling you. Yeah.
Oh my god!
I honestly think that.
I think every wide receiver in the league is better than Nelson Aguilar.
I love this comparison here because to me, I've thrown Drake May in my top 5 quarterbacks in college football for a long time.
I put this up just because I saw Sean in there.
They're beating Clemson.
I fully expect them to beat Clemson. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know. I mean, I know they had a tough time with they lost that game last week against who was it?
At first I thought you were just
North Carolina. Did they lose last week to?
Yeah, they did lose.
To Georgia Tech, right?
Georgia Tech, yes.
Yeah. But I mean,
Tech. I'm sorry.
But I mean, when you're looking at Drake May, you're looking at a guy that.
Yeah, look at the. Wait a minute. Look at these numbers, man.
You're looking at a guy that, as like 2025, he's looking like the number one pick right now. And I know that's 3 drafts away. But if he stays that long, like he could go 2024 and be the number. He's probably the number 2 QB behind Caleb Williams in that draft. But if he goes 2025, I don't know that there's going to be a quarterback that matches Drake May.
I like CJ Stroud a little better than Bryce Young too. So I think this is a good comparison right here.
And I also prefer Stroud over Young, but
God,
I do think if you're looking at the
that
draft,
had to hurt to say that.
no. If I'm looking at them as actual, just not what school they play for, if I'm looking at them as players, I've said all year, to me, Stroud's the number 1 quarterback in college football.
I believe so too.
Now, Caleb Williams is making a very strong argument of that.
Yep.
I think Caleb Williams is going to be a better pro player than CJ Stroud.
I do too, and I don't think it's going to be overly close.
Yeah, that's just me personally. So
I get that, Sean, but still, Tech.
Still, you got to beat Georgia Tech. North Carolina's a top 12, 13 team. You got to beat Georgia Tech, man.
See, I had them as a top 10 team, but
yeah.
Nathan, who's your Heisman? I wanna. If those guys are 2 and 3 on your list, who's your number 1? Oh, sorry, I just saw this. Put those numbers up in the Big Ten or the SEC. I mean, Stroud's putting them up in the Big Ten. But if you're talking Drake May, I mean, he's played some damn good defenses along the way. And he still put up good numbers against Notre Dame. They didn't win, but he played well against a very good defense. And yeah, Sean, you absolutely did. He said multiple times to not overlook Georgia Tech, and that was, for me and Sean, that was our message pretty much the entire way through.
Wait a minute.
What?
Sean is conservative. He's always conservative. He didn't want to get excited about Texans. Okay. Remember? Yeah, I couldn't get him to go all in with the Texans. He's like, I don't know. I just hope we beat it. Come on, Sean.
Now, at the same time, you look at it, and I mean, yeah, Maryland did run away from the ACC. He's got a point there.
Yep.
If you look at college football as a whole last week, I feel like all these big-time teams were looking to later down the line.
They're looking ahead.
Georgia struggled. Michigan barely escaped. Ohio State barely escaped. Yeah. North Carolina didn't escape. Sorry, Sean. It took TCU running their field goal kicker onto the field with 9 seconds left and the time running to try and get the game-winning field goal, which they did. Like, all these big-time teams struggled. USC on the scoreboard struggled, but they looked damn good the entire way, and that's my number 5 team. I'm throwing that out there. To me, that's
same.
USC. USC is my number 5 team in the country right now.
I have them over LSU. I mean,
LSU's
played well, but they've got 2 losses. USC only has 1.
Right.
It's the SEC bias. They beat Bama, so they got to be number 5, so the conference championship game can be 1 versus 5.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I know.
And it's bullshit. I hate it.
Need 2 of them in.
Nathan, Bryce Young, and Hooker.
Wait a minute.
Hooker is going to plummet down the boards because he's not playing, unfortunately, and I hate to see what happened to Hendon Hooker. He was so fun to watch this year, and I hope he comes back healthy. And I hope it doesn't affect his draft stock too much. But, man, what a shitty way to end his college career, especially after how that season was going. It blows. That was one of those players.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they don't have a timeout. Yeah.
Typical Patriots.
I finally got a fucking win.
Yeah.
Robert Griffin III is making his opinions known.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more.
I agree. That's why I saved this, because I agree with it.
And to me, Alabama, Clemson, That one you can make an argument because Clemson hasn't played anybody. Like, Clemson hasn't impressed me against anybody. So, Alabama, Clemson, you can make that argument there just because Alabama went toe-to-toe with Tennessee, went toe-to-toe, like, with a lot of these really good teams. Where Clemson, anytime they've played a team that's above 20 in the rankings and above 20 in the CFP rankings, they've looked like shit and barely escaped. So to me, you can make the argument for Alabama over Clemson. But USC being below LSU to me is absolutely ridiculous. It's total bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah, Georgia Tech did, after they fired their coach, they came in and got pretty hot there at the end. The first couple weeks after their coach was gone.
I hope the Patriots pull New York Jets.
And bench Mac Jones?
Honestly. No offense.
No
Mac
offense.
Jones is the definition of dog shit.
No offense? What?
No offense. He is
What's no
dog
offense
shit.
got to do with anything?
Dude just needs to fucking just.
Okay, let's get back to our picks.
Yeah.
Since we're only 3 games through out of the 16. Denver at Carolina. Is anybody taking Carolina?
Man, I'm going Denver.
Oh, I was paying attention to their argument, man. I was getting into it.
I was looking at it too. I'm going Denver.
I got Denver.
Oh, I'll read Marty's
Sean, I
picks off
sent you
here.
the link. You can jump in if you want to, bud.
Marty had Buffalo, the Giants, and Minnesota, so he's currently 2-1.
I got Broncos over Panthers. Thanks to Alex, actually.
Yeah, I talked him into it the other day as I'm trying to catch up to the fucker in the picks. Alec, who did you have in this last game here? Minnesota and New England?
I sadly had the Mac Jones piss suckers.
I have the piss suckers too.
All right. And Denver, Carolina, who did you have, Alec?
I had Denver.
Okay. So
Mostly because they actually have a fucking running back now that won't fumble the ball.
Yeah, was anyone shocked to see Melvin Gordon get released?
No.
Because I was not at all. I was shocked he
When
was
was
still
it?
there.
Like 3 weeks ago, I was saying, why is he still on the team? He fumbled the ball 3 times in one game then. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, dudes.
Yep. All right. Speaking of Sean Spencer here, because I saw his comment that he's at his
I saw it.
girl's family's place. Atlanta at Washington. I got Washington.
I got the Commanders.
I got the Commandos.
Marty
I also have
has
the
Washington.
Commanders.
So clean sweep for the Commanders.
And one Commando.
All right, another one that I feel is going to be a clean sweep. The Kyle Allen-led Houston Texans against the Miami Dolphins. Is anyone taking the Texans here?
Actually, I got the Dolphins in that game.
I was like, "There's no fucking." I have your picks here.
I know.
Wait. The Texans are starting Kyle Allen.
Yep, they benched Dougie Mills,
Oh. Well, change of pace in his life.
which
I'll give you that,
absolutely
Sean.
going quarterback at one
Oh,
next
this is the
I'll give you that
Kyle
one, Sean.
Juicy Sean Spencer week.
year. Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
I think this is a. I
I'll
think
give you
Sean's
that
right.
one.
This is a scary one. It's a very good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there'll be some
I'll be
scores.
tuning into that one on Sunday.
Yeah, I picked Miami in this one against the Houston.
Yeah.
Against the Kyle Allen led.
All right, Cincinnati at Tennessee.
I'm going
Rematch of the
Titans.
divisional
This is the
round
toughest
last year.
one. This is my toughest pick, but I'm going Titans.
Johnny,
Christ, Ben. I got Titans.
Alec.
I have the Titans.
All right. Well,
Oh,
You
Vikings won.
I'm going Cincinnati.
You're going
Vikings.
all opposite.
I'm
Yeah.
lone wolfing the Bengals.
I don't think that's a bad choice.
No,
I mean, the two teams are pretty similar to how they were in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
this is my That was my toughest pick this week. Was the Bengals.
Honestly,
Titans. Yeah.
I mean, bias-wise, my toughest one was Buffalo and Detroit. But, I mean, outside of that, it was
I think that was
Cincinnati,
a tough one
Tennessee for me.
Anybody picking logically had to mull over that one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Marty had Tennessee. He also had Miami. Chicago at the Jets. Marty had Chicago.
I got the Jets.
Jets.
I am also taking the Jets.
I'm taking the Jets.
Even with Mike White.
Yeah.
It's that defense for me.
Yeah. If Bill Belichick was coaching the Bears, I would have took the Bears this week.
Jamar. I like the way you did that.
Yeah.
Is he actually playing?
Yeah, because it sounds like he's coming back, right? Jamar Chase.
Oh, I thought he was putting Lamar in because he's a Ravens guy. I was thinking he was putting Lamar in.
He was practicing this week, so
yeah. Everything I've heard is that he's coming back, but
yeah.
Will he be healthy enough to play?
We shall
who
see.
knows? Tampa at Cleveland. I'm rolling with the Bucs.
Yeah, but
now I will say if Deshaun had like a couple games in and was playing by this point, I would probably go with Cleveland. Honestly, but
well, Deshaun's not playing this week.
No, I know, and that's why I'm saying like if Deshaun was in, that might change it for me. But
I think Brady's in full end of season mode. I think Brady. I think you're going to see a completely different Bucs team right now.
The one thing that worries me is look at that defensive, or watch out for that defensive line of Cleveland, though.
Yeah, but then again, you can run all day on them.
Yep.
So Rashad White and Leonard Fournette, I think they both have a great game this game.
I expect all four of those running backs to play well, honestly.
I think Mike Evans and maybe Kate Otten will eat. I don't know because the Browns are weak against tight ends too. So Kate Otten might get another great day.
I expect Otten to have a big game because, like you said, those linebackers don't cover the tight ends very well.
And Mike Evans might as well be a tight end. So.
Sean, this year I'm not expecting too much.
Mm-mm.
I expect him to come back next year and be
probably
in a top 5 conversation.
He might come out of the tunnel with a towel on. Who knows what to expect from him? No, honestly, really, I don't. I see other players in the same situation. Look what Michael Vick did when he came back. You know.
Yeah.
What's Deshaun's commitment level to him? Is he committed to paying off his lawsuits, or is he committed to playing football? That's the question. I've always had that kind of question with him, and even when he was playing well at Houston, it seemed like some games he just didn't have the commitment level.
True.
I mean, I agree. Like, with my point with this is like, I don't have really high expectations with it, only because of how he has to adjust to the playbook. Because
they haven't even been giving him starting reps. He's been getting backup reps when he's been at practice.
Playbook, I feel like it could take
taking all the starting reps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the first game, I have like no expectations out of him. Anything past that's probably a shocker to me.
See, in my experience, that's where I'm stuck at, because these guys come in fresh in the middle of the season or after the middle of the season, and they're ready to go. And it depending on their commitment level, once again, is how they play. Because I could expect, all right, we know this is not a thing saying that Gronk's come back. Okay, he's not. Forget that shit. But if Gronk was to come back this time of season, get a couple of reps in, and go out there, I would expect more from Gronk, and know that I'm expecting a lot, but I know how Gronk plays and his commitment levels, right?
Yep.
I would know what to expect from Gronk. Knowing what to expect from Deshaun Watson is like flipping a coin, man. You don't know.
See, to Sean's comment, I feel like the Texans beat him around.
Yeah,
I-
exactly.
That's not gonna fucking happen.
Yeah,
But it's
I
like-
think he'll play well because it's the Texans and everyone will get super hyped, and then it'll come back down to reality when he plays the Ravens, the Steelers.
And you know
He's
what
got to
else
play all these guys
that
again.
Texas
so.
game could be? To me, I would not, honestly, would not be surprised if the Texans beat them.
Honestly, yeah.
It wouldn't shock me. I mean, I'd be upset because I'm probably going to pick the Browns in that game, but it wouldn't shock me if they didn't win.
Yeah. On this
Well,
is a
it all
huge
depends on his
question from
commitment
Nathan.
level, like Johnny says. All depends on the commitment level.
Well, and what's the team chemistry going to be like? Because the quarterback chemistry with the rest of the team is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. And we
Sure.
don't even know what the rest of the team actually
It
honestly
took-
feels about him out there.
Like when Tom Brady came to Tampa, it didn't take him like 8 weeks to know the playbook?
Yeah.
It was like 7
For
to 8
like
weeks.
2 months.
Yeah. And then that game against the Texans.
Well, wait a minute. The playbook thing with Brady was completely different. He came into a new scheme, learning a new language. Deshaun Watson's had 2 years or whatever the fuck it's been to learn that language. You know,
Not this one.
He's
had,
had
like,
2
5
years.
months.
5 months, whatever. It's still
had-
more than 8 games.
He's had 2 years to handle his massage therapist.
Well,
And it's
That's kind of my point too. I mean, how much of the focus has he had on the game, on
Wait, no.
the playbook?
Johnny, I want to go at something you said there. Because you said he's had 5 months, so he's had lots of time. Brady had those same 5 months, and then he had the 8 games.
He was signed. He didn't have 5 months because he signed. Well, no, he did.
He signed in March.
He signed.
I
Yeah.
think it was there March or April.
But see, there's a difference.
It was
Brady was going
I
out
think it
there
was
and
March.
playing with these guys, using his own verbiage and just practicing a lot.
Yeah.
Get team chemistry. You know, hey guy,
Yeah.
my name's Tom. How you doing? Oh, your name's Mike. How you doing, Mike? I've heard of you. You shit like that. Brady did that. We know he did that illegally because he was
Yeah.
doing it with them, right?
Yeah.
So, but he wasn't working on the verbiage at that moment. He was working
Yeah.
on getting team chemistry together, which would be fine too. I haven't really heard anything about Deshaun Watson doing any off-field things with this team.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good thing that he's not, but
I was going to say shit would have hit the fan if he did.
You're opening up the innuendos for them.
yeah.
Oh, I'm full-fledged into that, yeah.
Wouldn't it be great next week when the Browns visit the Texans and the fans are waving the towels, you know, the rally towels?
Oh, my God.
On defense, you know.
personally,
They
I
got to make sure they have those
should
little
play football
Gatorade
again.
towels, though. Like the right
No,
size
just
one.
white towels, just like, you know, waving.
Yeah, but they got to have that size because that's the size Watson was using, the little Gatorade size towels.
Yeah.
It's so funny when they had the
Yeah,
massage
that's
convention in Cleveland.
my thoughts exactly, Sean. Exactly.
Yeah.
And
My
Nathan,
argument on that was purely the time. That's all it was. Oh, Nathan. That would be awesome, bro.
You'll see an influx in towel sales.
The first 5,000 fans get little dish towels.
where were we at on our picks?
We're
That's
over
where that
halfway
was,
through. We did
the
9 out of the
Astros
16 games so far.
It was the Bucs game. That's the last one we were
Yeah.
on.
So-
Can you? All right. Look, I guarantee Deshaun Watson disrupts the locker room because he sure as hell disrupts our show a lot. He can disrupt our show, and we're not even close.
It doesn't
to
take much to disrupt our show, though.
You're saying he
We've been
disrupts
doing the
our
show.
show more than Jason or
Nobody's
Andy?
got more airtime while not trying to give him airtime than Deshaun Watson.
This is
Only
the
if
going
Chandler
when
Watson first comes
Watson
out.
first comes out. I'm predicting a Bill Cosby or something like that.
Yeah,
Bill Cosby.
pudding.
Just I was just thinking like a Cosby.
Steamer.
Howley.
If any of them listen to our show, then yeah. Towley, that's a good one, Alec.
I had that meme with Tally.
He wants towels.
Oh my god.
Play that remember that wrestler Val Venus? Play that.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my-
Play that thing when he comes out of the tunnel.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Val
Have
Venus
somebody
would-
throw a
Val
towel
Venus
at
would
him
be
as
the
he
next
runs out
one
onto the
suing.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Val Venus would be number 27.
Hello, ladies.
All right. Let's get this back on track. Baltimore at Jacksonville. I got the Ravens.
Baltimore.
Ravens.
I think this is a sneaky good game, though.
It's going to be a close game, but until oh Jesus, what's this? Lawrence
Trevor.
gets his throwing motion set up and everything. He still hasn't got it yet.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Jacksonville plays everyone. They're like what Detroit was last year. That you play everyone extremely close, but it's not good enough. That's what
And
they
you know
are.
it's going to be a running game, and
Etienne and Daryl Henderson now the
yeah.
backup.
yeah, and you know what Ravens have been doing to the running game with teams.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, man, Roquan Smith being there is just
Oh man,
ridiculous. I assume you went Baltimore as well, Alec? Clean sweep for the Ravens?
Yep.
All right.
and they got a strong rotation in the middle of the field now with Travis Jones and them rotating in and out. They stay fresh.
Yeah. All right. The Chargers at the Cardinals. I got the Chargers. The Cardinals are a dumpster fire right now.
Arizona's a fucking.
Who do you
Walking
like for
dumpster.
that, Nathan? Who do you think? Well, you got to figure where they're going to be. Well, they're probably not going to be. How many run backs you feel will go in the first round this year? We had one last year. I don't think it's going to be.
We didn't have any this past draft.
He wasn't. I don't have my paperwork, so I ain't going to argue.
Well, because 2 years ago we had Najee and Etienne.
Right.
The rookie running backs this year, who do we got? James Cook was second round.
Yeah, that's right. Was he second? I thought he was lower than that, actually.
What's that?
Walker third round or second?
Walker was second round.
Second round. Okay.
Brees Hall was second round.
Okay, we're good then.
I
don't even know who's going to be. I haven't looked. At
to me the two you can make the arguments for this year are Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs. To me,
I think there's some really good late round running backs that would.
There's going to be some steals.
There's
like the guy from Northwestern.
Evan Hall. Yeah.
Evan Hall. Blake Corum's going to be a third, fourth, fifth round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
There's so many of them, man. I don't think that's the whole thing. You don't have to rush out and get one. They can.
Yep.
And look,
yeah, Sean Tucker. Yeah, absolutely. Sean Tucker would be a great running back to get.
Lou Nichols, I don't know.
He's Central Michigan.
Okay.
And Corum should go higher, but there's a few knocks on him, like size. Obviously, he doesn't have the breakaway speed for the NFL. There's certain knocks on him like that are having him drop. But yeah, the highest I've seen him go is third round.
I've seen
I've
seen Corum. Well, that's true of everybody in college, so I can't really use that as a knock against him. But he doesn't always hit his fucking lanes.
Yep. You're absolutely right on that. Man, in my mind, I'm still trying to think if there was.
I don't think there's a real
first round this year
standout. Like last year, Brees Hall was a standout. We knew he was going to be. Jesus Christ, Walker was a standout, which felt he went lower than I thought he was going to go.
Yeah, he went like 45 or something like that. I thought he was like in the 30s.
I think
I thought
we both had him like within five spots of each other.
Yeah.
Well,
and I'm thinking of all the running backs. Dameon Pierce was he second round or was he third round? I think he was third round, right?
Third round, yeah. And,
Isaiah Spiller fell all the way to the 4th round, which blows my mind.
yeah.
Still, him being the backup in LA is ridiculous. Kyron Williams, speaking of LA, went like 5th, 6th round.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think there's a list of the top 12, and I think maybe three.
Are you talking tight ends?
3 at the most will be real difference makers, and then the others will just pick it up the ass. I don't know.
I think there's a few more than 3, but
I mean big difference makers. I don't think there's going to be more than.
Well, yeah, Michael Mayer.
Yeah.
To me, Broderick Washington from Georgia.
Looking at the.
To me, I think Eric All from Michigan once he's healthy.
I was really high on I can't even remember his fucking name, the kid from Maryland. But then he just disappeared.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. But all I can think of is the receivers, Raheem Jarrett and Dante Demas. But
yeah.
Fuck.
I hate that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk more during games, man, so you can remember the names I can't remember.
Well, I'm not watching any game other than the game at the early stages on Saturday, so.
Well, you got me stuck on Michigan. That's all I get stuck watching anymore is friggin' Michigan.
Hey, that's your choice.
Well,
not my
good football. That's all right. It's a fucking good football game.
See, and here's there's so many Michigan fans talking about Michigan and being all negative. It's I'm sorry that it's.
Wait a minute. Where are you at, Nathan? What is wrong with Maryland football, dude? And you're a Maryland guy, so come on.
I was ecstatic with the game they played on Saturday. You went toe to toe with the number 2 team in the nation.
Yeah.
Sean's got me hooked on North Carolina.
Never. Years ago, I washed my hands with North Carolina. Sorry.
You're missing out on some damn good football.
I know, but I can't. All right.
Oh, Sam Laporta from Iowa. He's a very good. I'm not saying the position, but the typical position that plays well out of Iowa.
Say it. We need all of our fans happy.
Yes.
No, because I said that he's a great, and then I can't add that part onto the end. Sean says, "Come over to the light, Johnny."
Just use the initials.
Okay, he's a great TE.
See, there you go.
I'm going to tell you something else, Sean. They hurt me so bad.
Nathan Fair.
That I'm not talking. I'm not. What Oh, okay. Come on, man. Wisconsin. No, the Wisconsin one pissed me off. Yeah, it did.
The Penn State one was rather rough too. They got their ass beat.
I didn't expect them to really compete with Penn State at the beginning.
I expected them to beat Penn State. I've said from the beginning of the year, to me, when they're fully healthy, Maryland's a 9-10 win football team. I thought they were that good.
I wasn't there yet.
Oh, I was all in on.
I was actually shocked this season when Hemby. Hemby pisses me off.
He's got his moments, right?
Moments
where he looks like one of the best running backs in college football. And he's got some moments where you're like, what the hell are you doing on the field?
Yeah, you see that gap in front of you that's like 20 fucking yards wide, dude? Hit it. That irritates the running back so much, especially because offensive linemen have to work their asses off to open them little fucking cracks for you.
Well, and also they have a phenomenal left tackle in Jalen Duncan.
Yes,
he is very good. But yeah, that was the one thing. I thought this was that 1 year for Maryland before they take a drop again. They got a lot of talent leaving. Basically, probably your top 5 offensive players are all gone. No, Telly is back for another year, isn't he?
I think they had a pretty good recruit.
And, that's the thing. They've had good recruiting, but it's just a lot of your top guys, if you look
Yeah,
at it,
but-
were juniors and seniors that are probably all going.
Do we have any more game picks?
We do. So wait, I didn't get. I assume both Johnny and Alec are going with the Chargers, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Who are chart? Yes, over Cards. Fuck yeah.
Vegas at Seattle. I'm going Seattle. I think this one could get out of hand.
Yeah.
You have Seattle as well,
I
Johnny?
don't think it's going to get out of hand because it's a fucking division game, but still.
It's not a division game.
Oh, that's right, sir.
I'm thinking of the old AFC West. No, I
Yes.
don't- yeah.
Jesus.
I got Seattle in this one. I knew.
Nathan, you going Vegas?
Marty went Seattle. Nobody
Oh,
went.
Nathan, you meant Derek Carr throws
Vegas,
4
yeah.
interceptions. You got that one wrong. He's gonna throw 4 interceptions.
See, I think he throws 2, and I think Devontae Adams gets both of them.
Basically,
But-
that's all he can really throw.
Well, if
Devontae Adams
Darren
will
Waller
get 2
is
interceptions.
trying to be healthy, but no, 2 touchdowns. I said he'll get 2.
He's
Oh.
gonna throw like 4 interceptions.
All right.
No, he's
in
going to throw
prob-
4 touchdowns, 2 to one team and 2 to his team.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right. Good pick sixes. He's gonna pull
In
Andy Dalton.
my opinion, this is the ugliest game of the week. The Bryce Perkins led Los Angeles Rams going to Arrowhead and playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I have the Chiefs. And this is a massacre.
This
is
could be
over
the
quick.
biggest point differential in the season this year.
If I'm not mistaken, the odds
There was-
give Kansas City a 14.5 point spread right now.
It's 15.5 now.
15.5? Damn.
It was.
The Vikings
I
are
remember
drooling
2
about this
days
game.
ago. It was 10.5. I think like 2
Everybody
days
will
ago, it was
forget about our
10.5.
Dallas game.
Huh?
Yeah. All right.
No,
So
it definitely moved. Like once they named him the quarterback.
They
Drop.
always move. Don't you understand how the points?
I know it
spreads
always
work?
moves. I was saying like
as soon as
Okay.
Stafford
Oh,
was
that's
out,
crazy.
that
Wait a minute,
drastically jumped.
Back up. You were talking earlier when I was in the back room doing my shit. That oh God, don't say that, Jacob. That
Oh, the Michigan Ohio
Vegas
State
must
spread.
know something. You know what Vegas knows how to do? They know how to count numbers, man. When people start swinging their picks to one direction,
yeah, it's
People
whenever
start
the
swinging.
public goes on that
Sadness.
number.
Right,
Keep it
that's-
going.
Whenever the public's on that side, they move it towards the other side.
Yeah. They're trying to get you to spend your money.
yeah, exactly. They're
I'm
not
not
in the
touching-
business.
I ain't
to
touched no
be
Michigan
broke.
Ohio State shit. Fuck that.
I'm staying far away from that.
I don't
Now,
even want.
no,
I
I'd
don't want
probably
a cent on that shit.
I'd put a small bet on Michigan to cover that spread.
What is the spread now?
7.5
It's at-
now.
7.5, yeah.
Michigan plus 7.5.
See, right now, my prediction, as much as it pains me to say, is Ohio State by a field goal.
Jason, just
Johnny, baby.
you like unruly kids, man.
Hey, Alex, you know what's? This is gonna be a laugh to Ben and Johnny, but so you know how like when like the college football playoff, like the bowl game like predictions.
Yep.
Tell me how I saw the other day, and it said the Rose Bowl, Michigan,
Oregon. Yep.
Oregon. I was like, and I'm gonna be in Michigan when that shit fucking happens. I'm not fucking safe.
Because
Like,
the thought process there is Ohio State and USC would both make the playoffs. So then it's the two at-large bids for the Big Ten and the Pac-12.
but do you really see USC jumping over LSU though?
I don't expect LSU to beat Georgia, so LSU is
Yeah.
out right there.
Yeah.
Now, I also don't think USC is going to make the playoff because, and I was going to say this for Saturday, but I'll throw it back in on Saturday.
That's what she buys.
Notre Dame beats USC this week.
Well,
I think Notre Dame does it.
wow.
Wow.
They play the same style of ball as Utah, and that was good enough to beat them. So,
Are you listening to this, Marty?
He's giving your team credits.
Yeah.
well, and,
By the
and
way,
Notre Dame's not the same team that they're not the same team that lost to Marshall and all these guys. They're a much better football team now than they were in weeks 2 and 3. Night and day difference.
They're still Notre Dame.
I will say though,
Look at me talking
Saturday,
good about Ohio State and Notre Dame.
No,
Notre Dame should be made up of nothing but tight ends, and then let Jason loose on them. Fuck them.
No, I'm just gonna say this.
Wait a minute. Why are you talking about Alex's brother that way?
He's my brother. Who's my brother?
You got that mixed. Not
Alex.
Alex.
Alec.
Oh, my bad. No, I was saying
Alec. Oh,
that quarterback in Oregon, he better kiss the ground his fucking defense walks on. Because if it wasn't for them, he would have fucking. I mean, granted, he had that ankle injury. He couldn't really do as much as he's used to. But if it wasn't for that defense, they would have been.
Now, all things considered, with how hobbled he was,
and the end.
Because like they had the amount of turnovers that their defense had is this. Like,
but with that injury, Bo Nix played very freaking well.
We're talking about Oregon.
Like you could tell, like he's kind of like limited to like his like the run plays because he's trying.
He couldn't even pick himself up when he dove to the ground. Like he was fucked up. That ankle was bad. He should not have been playing, and he was the only reason they were in that game.
I mean,
I love how Alec looks to bash his own fucking teams.
No, it's like the defense is.
I'm
actually happy our defense actually. How I'm saying I'm actually happy about our defense.
And Jason's gonna screenshot that
our job. That's what I'm happy about. The defense is actually doing what's supposed to do. It's not. I mean, granted, they allowed a lot of points, but. The only way we play against Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
I don't do Catholics. I do Mormons.
Like the only way I don't see us playing Michigan because it's a two-way situation. Because we play Oregon State Saturday, right?
Yep.
So if we pull that win off, because the Oregon
you guys will be in the Pac-12 title game.
No, like we would have to win. In Washington State, we had to lose against Washington State. That's the only way we go to the Pac-12 championship. Because Washington owns that head-to-head matchup.
But don't they already have the 2 conference losses?
And so do we.
No,
we have one conference loss.
Yeah, that's why you guys right now would get in.
Oh, like they said, that's what they that one dickhead on fucking Pac-12 at night said that shit.
Me, man.
Because they're showing like the 3-team race, and it showed USC, Oregon, and it said Washington. They said that Oregon would get a Pac-12 championship. Like, go ahead if Washington State loses against Washington State, and then Oregon beats Oregon State.
Now somebody's.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the conference standings right now.
Like right now, I think we're ahead of them. I think.
Thank you, Nathan. I have not kept up with Towson this year. It's like the first year I haven't kept up with them, and so they got some wins.
So you guys are 7-1 in the conference. They're 6-2. So you guys win, and you're in the conference championship game.
Damn, that was easy.
Yeah.
Well, make sure you send that screenshot to the dickheads on fucking ESPN tonight, because they said it fucking differently.
If you guys lose, then it gets interesting because you would have 2 losses, Washington would have 2 losses, Utah would have 2 losses in the conference.
I will say that the Oregon State game, that's going to be close as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually.
You guys have 6 ranked teams in the Pac-12.
I could even see Oregon State beating Oregon. Because
I could too.
State this year, yeah.
Oregon State's no slouch this year.
No.
They were like.
Well, they
took USC to their absolute limit.
Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, now I'm going to address Nathan for a minute here because Nathan's talking about something I love. Towson football, man. I don't really even care about their win-loss record.
You love, but you don't care.
I don't care about the win-loss record because going to those games are so much fucking fun.
Mhm.
It's not even about the win losses there. It's just enjoying
The
the game,
environment.
the atmosphere and stuff, man. The Towson is one of those schools where I'd rather go to a Towson game than to go to Ann Arbor or to fucking State College up here, man. Any day of the week, I'd choose a Towson game over one of those two big games, except maybe the whiteout game or the Ohio State fucking Michigan game. But
The one thing I just can't get behind with Div 3 is, and it's nothing to do with like the level of play or anything, because I love all college football. But you've got that massive playoff, and you've got conference champions that don't even go to your fucking playoff. Like Jackson State, for example, is undefeated, ranked like 8th in FCS. They're not in the playoff because that conference doesn't send their champion to the playoff. I can't get behind that. If Jackson State is one of the best teams, they should have to go to the playoff regardless. There shouldn't be we don't want to send our champion. I can't get behind that.
I don't understand the reasoning for it, but it's
Me neither.
It's maybe they feel like it's a waste of time. I don't know. I just don't get it. But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they're ever champions. I fucking love to go to Towson, man. I just do. It's like what is it? James Madison was here. One of those were here. It's those games. James Madison not as nice to.
Well, now they're Div 1 too, so that's a different story. But
yeah, and they're not as nice as atmosphere. Towson's got an awesome fucking. I just can't explain it, man. It's like people will go to Army Navy games because the atmosphere. And
this right here. That's why UConn became an independent.
Yeah. But UConn was. They're a big school. Towson's not. Towson's not a big school.
No, but
there's high schools here bigger than Towson. Okay.
Yeah, but he's talking about what I was saying about the playoff.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to be that person, but where is Towson at? I want to be that person. I don't know where Towson's at.
It's in Baltimore.
Oh, all right, my bad. I said no. I don't know anything outside. Like I only know like a few like outside Division I schools.
I don't. A lot of people don't know Towson. I didn't know Towson until I got there. My wife
was it like a small town in Baltimore?
It's a suburb of Baltimore. It is Baltimore.
Yeah,
it's a continuous.
It's where you've got like UCLA, USC, both in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Towson's in Baltimore.
Right.
Yes, I've been through this before. Every single fucking season with them.
Damn it, Sean! You're going to get him started again.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm used to that shit every year. There's always that one fucking game that was against Washington. It's literally a every year thing. Every time Oregon's like ranked 6 or below, that next game they just get cold feet and
consistency.
It's called being a Debbie Downer, man. I hate to be sitting next to you.
No, if you see the same shit for the last 6 fucking years, you just get fucking used to this.
Dude,
shit.
You're talking to a Lions fan. I've seen the same shit for 24 years.
We don't get that. We've all endured losing. So what? We don't fucking. I mean, we look forward to the wins. He actually came on here. What was it? 2 weeks ago, talking about. I hope we don't win this game, so we don't have to go play the SEC. And I'm like,
yeah, he's like, I don't want to go to the playoff.
Fuck that. Just to see them fucking
get to the playoffs. If you lose, tough shit. You got there.
Yeah, you were one of the 4 best teams.
Right.
Yeah, you just weren't obviously anywhere near the best team. Like for us last year, we got our asses beat by Georgia, but I was like, hey, we're still a fucking playoff team. Like.
You count the wins you got, not the losses you don't have yet.
Exactly. Better progress than fucking Anthony Brown ever fucking got us. We'll say that. Better progress than that motherfucker did for us. That motherfucker's a bozo.
All right, we still have 3 picks. Jesus. We're almost 3 hours into the show and we haven't finished our fucking picks yet.
The game's been over.
Yeah, for a long time.
I know the early games.
They're on their third recap of Detroit and Buffalo here on TSN.
Ben comes in talking all week that he's not going to be able to make the show, and then he stays here longer than anybody.
Dedication.
All right. New Orleans at San Francisco. I am going with the 49ers.
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 It feels to me like there's a lot of locks this week.
It just
Which
is.
means
That means
none
it
of them are
sounds
gonna be
too
locked.
good to be true.
Well, not actual locks. I mean, just locks
Yeah.
between all of us picking the same
Yeah,
thing.
clean sweeps. Another clean sweep here. I'm assuming Green Bay at Philly. Anyone
Not
taking
taking
the
Green
Packers?
Bay. I'm not taking Green Bay in that.
I got Eagles in that one.
You couldn't pay me to take Green Bay in this one.
I
No,
take
that's-
Green Bay when I absolutely have to.
That's right, Alex. Do it from Detroit.
Fuck that.
Clippers.
And the Monday night game, Pittsburgh at Indianapolis.
Let everybody see that that's watching.
See, this one's I'm kind of like it's like a coin flip.
Now, see, you can't say that with this comment on the screen, Alec.
Oh my god, dude!
Is he angry because he's going through withdrawals or what? Withdrawals of Jason.
No, that's for him and Ben.
Like,
I mean, I have Pittsburgh in this game, but I could
You
be
have
wrong.
Pittsburgh?
I went Pittsburgh. It may be a loss to me, but I don't know.
Saturday's gonna win on Monday.
So, Alec, it's time for you to howl your lone wolfing.
Come on, Alec. Everybody else does it.
I even did mine this week.
I just did it.
Come on, dude.
I didn't hear you do it, so do it again.
I didn't either.
Oh.
Okay. There we go.
Who's playing?
could be wrong on
I
that
think we were
one.
talking about the Colts and Steelers there. Yeah, Saturday I think was a good choice to.
Jesus Christ. I was gonna say I thought I saw a little brown on the end of that finger anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe Steelers.
Ooh.
Okay.
So you're not all.
Alex, I don't think the Steelers offense can do enough.
I don't know.
After,
Sean said that Johnny, that JMU Stadium made some huge improvements after winning D2 Natties.
Yeah. Where's the
Yeah, I agree. It's like a lot like Appalachian State.
Yeah.
And Nathan said, bro.
Oh, it says Steelers. What the heck? Oh. Hey, someone.
No, you're saying what the heck to Jason's comment.
Oh.
At least
Well,
I think he
Nathan,
was.
welcome to the show. This is the normal. You'll see him here on Thursdays. You'll see him on Ben's show.
Oh my
See him on Buck
god.
Wild.
Alec is my
And
little
fuck you
chili.
again, Jason. Shove that chili up your fucking ass.
chili whipper.
You shouldn't talk about his ass. You're getting him
Yeah,
excited.
it's like you just.
I said for him to shut up his ass.
He's gonna ask you to do it. You're just giving him more
No,
comments.
I'll just have Ben do it for him.
What's Ben got to do with it? He hasn't even.
I'm not doing that shit.
Why are you getting me involved in your business? No. That's between you two. Leave me out of it.
I know Thanksgiving is for sharing, but this is something you can keep to yourself.
Right, yeah.
Y'all can have that shit.
It's like the Cowboys in the playoffs. I don't. What's
What's that?
I don't
What's
get
like
it.
the Cowboys in the playoffs?
there's so many different things here that
I'm trying to
I
think.
don't want to relate that to that may be related to that. Oh, he's at the part of Alex Oregon rant there.
Oh God.
Yeah, Sean does get that way about Washington. I've gotten to the point where I just laugh and make fun of my Lions. Like, it's just
Not no more. You don't. You're getting into that.
well, I know, but when it comes to the other shit, there's no sense in getting angry over it because it happened way too fucking often. So
Like last year, you didn't. I don't think you picked the Lions except maybe one game last year.
No, I picked them a decent bit closer to the end of the season. I know I picked them against Baltimore.
I know you were
Week 3.
pissed off at the Jets. Or no, it was the Jags. No, it was the Jets.
No, we didn't play the Jets last year.
No, it was because they lost a game and you were wanting that position or something.
Oh, it was the Jaguars because I wanted the first overall pick.
Yeah.
But they fucked it up and took Trayvon Walker anyway, so.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah. Because Hutchinson was the guy. Oh, my God.
Because my Oregon don't. Oh, my God. Even his team.
You gotta start that. Oregon, Denver.
That's a good one. I like that one.
That was pretty good.
I'm going to start that one.
Chili Whipper also gets started.
Did you?
I just started. All right.
We are definitely an all-inclusive show.
Okay. I'm not going there. I'm leaving that one alone. Nathan, this is where I'm at this point. Just fuck it. Just. Why?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
That's got to be Alex's shirt.
That was me when I fucking drafted Andrew Luck in the fantasy draft 15 minutes before he fucking retired.
Oh, well, fuck.
And I did it just to be a dick to my boss.